What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. The brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, hate
Oh, it's my bad. I let it go too far. Hold on. All right, let me start Facebook. I'm going to be honest with you. I have no idea this topic we're covering tonight, okay? I was talked into it. Haven't looked into it. Don't know much about it. Saw a couple TikToks on it. Mariah's freaking out over it. That's where we're going. Let me get Facebook started. Let's see if we get to the bottom of this. It's apparently a pretty hot topic on TikTok currently. Like, change accounts. Like, share now. All right, here we go. Oh, does chat work? Yep.
Hey daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
We're boycotting Atsuko. Don't encourage her. Welcome everybody. I am Will Bird, and this is the Cold Beer Confessional. I was doing some research. That's for the late start. We'll be honest with you. Like I said, I don't have an opinion on the stuff we're covering tonight yet, but I guess we're getting to one. Mariah's been aggravating the shit out of me about it. But I started too late for her to be watching, so she'll probably just be mad. But to get to the bottom of it, there is a case going on right now. And the case stems around a woman with clear mental health issues was arrested for killing her children, taking a cocktail of drugs that she was prescribed, allegedly crushing them up, drinking them with some orange juice, trying to produce self-harm with a kitchen knife, and then throwing herself out a second-story window where she, like, fractured her spine, all kinds of shit, okay? Now, the internet believes that maybe that's not exactly what happened, okay? Maybe what actually happened is that she was drugged, gaslit, clearly going through a mental health crisis, postpartum, and some other things. And that maybe the husband, who kind of comes off as a creepy guy, maybe the husband did a lot of this and has almost gaslit her into believing some of the things. Hard to tell. I'm not well versed in it. Well, we're going to learn together. That's why it just says research instead of like a definitive, like this person's guilty, this person's innocent, shut the fuck up. I don't know. Internet's big on it right now. Just from the videos I've seen, clearly she was having some mental health issues. She'd been to a doctor. She'd been inpatient for a while. They had been changing her drugs back and forth like crazy. The trial that's going on right now, she's being represented by an attorney who famously represents like battered women that kind of snap and come back. Her family is paying for her legal defense. Her husband separately has this big GoFundMe he raised. That's not going to her legal defense. It's going to the husband. The attorney that's currently doing her work or her side of the case has gotten a couple women cases like where they had been like abused, for like years and years and years. They snap and kill their husband kind of deal. Which is interesting that that's the attorney that is working for her. The husband apparently is already like remarried or with someone or some shit. I don't know. We'll watch some videos to try to figure this out. Mariah's going to try to act like she knows everything about the case already because she's been watching on TikTok. We're going to try to get to the bottom of it. It does have some trigger warnings, I guess. Her defense right now is not even arguing that she didn't kill the kids, which is interesting. Her defense is arguing that she was not of a mental capability to be held responsible for killing the kids. They're saying, hey, she killed the kids, but, everybody failed her. She wasn't in her right mind. What the fuck? What did you expect? Kind of deal. That's where we're starting at. So where do we even start at? Let's try here. I'll get you some audio.
We have a membership event coming up this Sunday, August the 9th at 6 p.m. Eastern. Ask me anything. It'll be fun. There'll be wine.
Actually, let's start here.
Good morning.
And Goodhart said that she believed...
Let's do a quick rundown. Before we go into like an hour-long video. Here's a two-part video.
The Lindsay Clancy timeline is raising a lot of questions, so let's go over it. The Lindsay Clancy trial is not about whether Lindsay killed her 3 children. Her defense does not dispute that she did. The question is whether Lindsay was legally criminally responsible when 5-year-old Cora, 3-year-old Dawson, and 8-month-old Callan were killed inside of their Duxbury, Massachusetts home on January 24th, 2023. The prosecution says that Lindsay was rational, deliberate, and methodical. They believe that she created an excuse to send her husband Patrick away from the house, calculated how long he would be gone, killed the children, crushed medication, cut herself, and then went through a second-story window head first. The defense says that Lindsay was experiencing postpartum.
If I was going to jump out a window to kill myself, would I jump out head first?
Psychosis, extreme sleep deprivation, and a mental health crisis made worse by months of changing psychiatric medications. To understand this, we need to go several months back. Callan was born in May 2022, and Patrick said that Lindsay initially appeared happy and functioning normally, but after the fall, her mental health had noticeably declined. She was anxious about returning to work as a labor and delivery nurse. She became increasingly focused on whether she was sleeping enough. Patrick described a period when
she's also a nurse and failed at killing herself with her medication and failed at cutting herself and killing herself.
She reportedly went close to 48 hours without meaningful sleep. She began receiving psychiatric treatment and was prescribed Zoloft. Over the following months, doctors and nurse practitioners...
Now, this is crazy. Sertraline, 25 milligram, lorazepam, hydroxyzine, lorazepam, buspirone, trazodone, fluoxetine, zolpidem, martezepam, clonazepam. Like, look at all these drugs. Like, what the fuck is going on? Why is she on so many fucking...
The Lindsay Clancy timeline is...
Apparently, they were trying to change her medication to get her some relief, but damn. That's a heck of a list of drugs.
Ambien, Remeron, Klonopin, Seroquel, Valium, Lamictal, and Trazodone.
God damn it, stop it.
Left off on part 1. The Lindsay
Everything's
Clancy timeline
falling. Give me a minute.
That Lindsay was taking 13 to 15 medications, but that requires some explanation. Those medications were prescribed over several months, and Patrick testified that Lindsay was normally taking 2 or 3 medications at a time, not every medication simultaneously. Some were stopped, replaced, tapered, or changed because they weren't helping. But even Patrick admitted that he wasn't closely tracking how many pills she took from each bottle. He said that he wasn't always with her when she took them and did not count the pills himself and didn't know that some bottles contained far more medication than expected. According to Patrick, Lindsay continued to get worse. Her journals described severe anxiety, guilt, insomnia, emotional disconnection, and feeling as though she was drowning every day. She wrote about wanting to die and feeling traumatized by the process of sleep training Callan. By December, Patrick says that Lindsay disclosed thoughts involving harming herself or the children. So Patrick asked whether she needed to be kept away from them, and she reportedly told him no. He said that it was...
I guess he's the only witness to this. He's like, oh, well, she's talking about killing herself and maybe the children. Well, do you need to be kept away from them? No, I'm good.
confusing because she could describe a disturbing thought and then immediately continue making the children lunch, putting them to bed, or caring for them normally. He said he never personally saw Lindsay physically harm the children. Around New Year's Eve, Lindsay voluntarily admitted herself into McLean Hospital. She remained there for several days and was discharged in early January. After she returned home, Patrick said that she appeared significantly better. The family went to a museum. They went to a water park. She took care of the children, attended appointments, and appeared normal to friends, teachers, and the family's nanny and other people who saw her. Now, the defense will argue that psychosis can fluctuate and that someone may appear organized during certain periods while still experiencing severe psychiatric symptoms. The prosecution will argue that all of this shows Lindsay was functioning rationally. Then we reach January 24th. At approximately 8 that morning, Lindsay took Cora to a pediatric appointment while Patrick stayed home with Dawson and Callan. At 8:17, Patrick sent Lindsay a picture of Dawson, who had apparently dressed himself and was proudly showing off his outfit. At 8:18, Lindsay sent Patrick a picture of Cora at the doctor's office. That pediatrician has now testified that Lindsay behaved appropriately and that nothing about the appointment appeared unusual. Lindsay and Cora returned home, and later Lindsay took the children outside, played in the snow, and sent pictures of them with a snowman. Patrick described January 24th as one of Lindsay's best days in months. And that description matters because within hours, all 3 children would be found unresponsive in the basement.
One of the best days in months. And then that's the day that she snaps and kills them.
At approximately 4:02 p.m., digital evidence reportedly showed a search for children's Miralax. At 4:13, someone looked up the 3V restaurant. Apple Maps was then reportedly used to...
So she searched for Miralax, the stool softener. She searched for a restaurant.
Miralax. At 4:13, someone looked up the 3V restaurant. Apple Maps was then reportedly used to examine the route between the Clancy home and the restaurant. This is one of the prosecution's primary pieces of evidence for planning. They argue that Lindsay looked up the route because she wanted to know how long...
I don't think this is a very good argument, okay? Because a lot of times I look up shit and I'm like, oh, that restaurant, and then I just click on the map to see where it's at. I wouldn't say that I was clicking on the map to see how long somebody would be gone so I could kill my children. You know what I mean? Like, I click on the map all the time to be like, oh, it's beside by that place or whatever.
Patrick would be away from the home. But the search doesn't literally say how much time will I have alone. It's a direction search to a restaurant where the family was ordering dinner. The idea that Lindsay used it to calculate a murder window is the prosecution's interpretation based on what happened afterward. At approximately 4:47, Lindsay called CVS to ask about a constipation product for Cora. The employee who spoke to her reportedly did not hear slurred speech or anything obviously unusual. Shortly before 5, Lindsay texted Patrick asking whether he wanted takeout from 3V because she had not cooked and had experienced a long day. They discussed their orders. Lindsay ordered a Mediterranean-style bowl for herself, and Patrick ordered a scallop and pork belly risotto. At approximately 5:10, Lindsay called the restaurant and placed the order. On the same time, she asked Patrick to stop at CVS and purchase a stool softener for Cora. At approximately 5:15, Patrick prepared to leave. He testified that he rocked Callan, kissed Cora, and told the children that he would be right back. Dawson was reportedly eating chicken nuggets. Patrick...
If she was planning this at the time, why the fuck is she buying stool softener and calling and talking to the pharmacist about it for her kid? And
said that Lindsay was standing near the basement doorway holding Callan when he left. That detail stands out because the children were later found in the basement. At 5:32, surveillance footage placed Patrick inside CVS. At 5:33, Patrick called Lindsay because the exact medication that she requested was unavailable. She does not answer that call, but a minute later at 5:34, she calls him back. The phone call lasted approximately 14 seconds. Patrick said that Lindsay sounded coherent, and he also described her as sounding quiet or like she may have been in the middle of something. That 14-second phone call may be one of the most important moments in the entire timeline. We still do not publicly know whether the children were attacked before that call, after the call, or during. At 5:37, Patrick completed his CVS purchase and left. At 5:54, surveillance footage showed him entering 3V to collect the food. Then he drove home. Shortly after 6, Patrick entered the house and immediately noticed something was wrong. The house was silent. He didn't hear Lindsay. He didn't hear any of the children. 6:09, Patrick called Lindsay's cell phone from inside of the home and she didn't answer. He went upstairs, found the primary bedroom door locked, and used an emergency key to open it. Inside, he finds a knife on the nightstand, the open window, and what he describes as blood everywhere. Above my head is that nightstand. Right here is the bed that was physically moved away from...
So the bed had to be moved away from the window for her to get access to the window.
The window so that it could be opened. He looked outside and saw Lindsay lying on the ground below the second-story window. So he runs outside. He testified that Lindsay told him she had tried to kill herself. Approximately 6:11, authorities received the 911 call. At some point, Lindsay reportedly tells him that the children were in the basement. Patrick went into the basement.
So while she's laying there with like a fractured spine, she's like fucking slipping into hypothermia and shit. She tells him, he runs outside. She says, I tried to kill myself. And then at some other point during this conversation, she says the kids are in the basement.
She had tried to kill herself. Approximately 6:11, authorities received the 911 call. At some point, Lindsay reportedly tells him that the children were in the basement. Patrick went into the basement and found Cora, Dawson, and Callan unconscious with exercise bands around their necks. He removed the bands and attempted CPR while screaming for help. First responders arrived and continued the life-saving efforts. Cora and Dawson died that night. However, Callan was initially resuscitated and transferred to Boston Children's Hospital, but he suffered catastrophic brain damage and died several days later. Lindsay survived, but the fall caused devastating injuries to her spine. She is now paralyzed and has to use a wheelchair. Now we need to examine the physical evidence because this is where the case becomes more complicated. Investigators examined the 3 exercise bands. They were unable to recover usable fingerprints from any of them. That doesn't necessarily mean that the bands were wiped clean. Exercise bands are flexible, textured objects that may not preserve fingerprints well. It means there is no identifiable
I would imagine anything that's like expandable in rubber, it's not going to have great fingerprints.
Fingerprint placing Lindsay's hand, Patrick's hand, or anyone else's hand on those bands during the killings. DNA evidence is also not as simple as people online have made it sound. Both sides stipulated that DNA from all 5 members of the Clancy household was present in a mixture found on part of one blue exercise band. That included Patrick, Lindsay, and all 3 children. Other portions of the bands contained strong DNA associations with the children. Because the exercise bands were kept in a family home, mixed household DNA is not automatically surprising. I'm running out of time here, so I'm going to record a part 2 right now. Go check it out. The Lindsay Clancy.
All right, so here's like the first comment on this. It says, I was 100% convinced she did it. Like, no doubt in my mind. Then the evidence was shown. A 3-minute drive took him 15 minutes, talking about the husband. The CVS bag he said he placed on the countertop when he got home, the evidence pic showed plates stacked on top of it, indicating they were placed thereafter. Her thyroid gland was stuffed, only happens as a hanging or strangulation. She was hypothermic. She was outside for over an hour. It took him 11 minutes to call 911. He changed shoes. His internet search history. He was having an affair. Every EMS said she was unresponsive and could only make moaning noises, yet told him she had killed the kids and then tried to kill herself. Once he got that info, he didn't go looking for the kids until EMS got there. His brother is chief of police. The blood stain on the windowsill is outside, indicating she tried not to fall. She's a nurse, and if she wanted to kill herself, she would have known what concoction of pills to take. There were no defense wounds from a fall, no broken arms or wrists, which would unintentionally do when falling headfirst. The kids were drugged. It's in their system. The knife was wiped clean. The doctor looking after her, giving "I don't recall" during her statement in court, is friends with Patrick's new wife, not to mention his brother's chief of police. The only time she's ever heard voices was this time, telling her she had to kill the kids. With the drugs, I believe he gave her, he was telling her, and as she can't remember what happened except that. The evidence is stacked up against him, but there was no investigation was conducted. Unfortunately, this trial is to determine if she goes to jail or a mental health facility. The cops did not do their job. I believe it was him. The 911 call, he said she killed the fucking kids, not she fucking killed the kids. That's huge and telling. That's a huge and telling difference. All right, part 2.
Starting exactly where we left off on part 1 of the Lindsay Clancy case breakdown, one of the exercise bands that were found around the children's necks, the blue one, had DNA from all 5 members of the household. This includes Patrick, Lindsay, and all 3 children. This in itself is not surprising. It's an object inside of a family home. They could have touched it at any point prior to the murders. There were no usable fingerprints on any of the bands. The same was also true for the knife that was found upstairs. There were marks present, but not enough usable detail to identify who had handled it. What the bands do establish is how the children were found. So Patrick's 911 call captured the moment that he entered the basement and discovered Cora, Dawson, and Callan together on the floor, because he had initially called 911 after finding Lindsay. Each child had a separate exercise band around their neck. Patrick described removing what he believed were loops from Cora and Callan. He said that Dawson's band was tighter and had to be pulled over his head. Prosecutors argued that this description is important because the bands weren't simply tied into secured knots and then abandoned. Their theory is that Lindsay manually pulled and maintained pressure on each band until each child became unresponsive. The defense isn't claiming that another person entered the home and attacked the children. Lindsay's attorneys acknowledged that she physically caused their death. Again, the dispute is over Lindsay's mental state and whether she was criminally responsible when she did it. The medical evidence presented so far confirms that all 3 children died as a result of asphyxia caused by pressure around their necks. Cora and Dawson had no pulse when first responders reached them. Firefighters.
That's a stethoscope and the blue exercise bands.
Paramedics and emergency physicians described performing CPR, providing oxygen, establishing airways, and administering medication, but neither child could be revived. Baby Callan also had no detectable pulse when a paramedic first examined him. CPR continued inside the house during transport and at the hospital. Doctors eventually restored cardiac activity, meaning that his heart had a pulse after intubating him, continuing compressions, and administering epinephrine. But Callan never began breathing independently. Brain imaging showed catastrophic swelling and damage caused by prolonged oxygen deprivation. He remained on life support until he was declared brain dead 3 days later. The medical examiner testified that Callan had visible abrasions on his neck consistent with the exercise band and ultimately died from complications of asphyxia. So the fact that Callan's heart was restarted doesn't mean that he maintained a pulse for the entire time Patrick was gone. Because I saw a lot of people arguing online that Callan wasn't strangled until right before 911 arrived. But that's not the case. His heart was not beating. It means that doctors achieved a return of circulation after prolonged resuscitation. Now, what hasn't been medically established is the exact minute that each child was attacked. But prosecutors told the jury that they believe Dawson was killed first, followed by Cora, and then Callan. That order came from the prosecution's opening statement. The medical testimony presented did not establish a sequence. Back upstairs, investigators documented evidence of Lindsay's own injuries and apparent attempt to end her life. Blood was found in several areas of the primary bedroom, including near the nightstand where the knife was, on the floor, close to...
This is the headboard here. It looks like a nightstand. This had to be moved to access the window.
To a mirror and around the open window. This is consistent with her inflicting those injuries while standing there, moving to the window, opening the window or it already being opened, and jumping out. It's not super easy to see in this picture, but right here, the white is that nightstand, and then this is the bed. The bed had to be moved from the wall because it was blocking the window to be able to have access to that window. The window where the ladders lead up to is the window that she ultimately fell from. Along the siding is blood, maybe indicating that she hesitated for a little bit before actually going out the window. And if you look on the bottom window seal, it almost to me looks like a possible handprint. Either way, it's definitely blood right there. Now, going back to the cup beside the bloody knife on the nightstand. The defense says that Lindsay crushed psychiatric medication inside that cup, mixed it with leftover lemonade, and drank it before then inflicting the wounds to her wrists and neck. The blood evidence showed movement and contact inside the bedroom. The analyst testified that the knife appeared to have contacted the nightstand and later changed positions, but couldn't determine who moved it or when. Now, this part is my opinion, but in my mind, it goes to she inflicted the wounds on herself and realized that it wasn't enough. People don't realize how dang bad it hurts when you are inflicting these wounds to yourself. That is why a lot of times you see things like hesitation marks. It's possible that she inflicted the injuries, realized it wasn't going to give her the outcome quick enough, thought about doing it again and moved the knife, and then ultimately decided to go out the window. But again, that is a theory. Some medical witnesses described several of those wounds as superficial, and prosecutors have heavily focused on the fact that her neck wound didn't require major surgery.
You think they didn't pull a panel on her blood to see if she was on the drugs that she claimed she was on? Obviously they did.
But those cuts, again, were only part of her attempt. Because then Lindsay goes through the second story window. When she does this, she suffers catastrophic injuries. She fractured her cervical and thoracic spine, injured her spinal cord, and was left paralyzed. The hospital testimony described serious blood loss, internal injuries, severe hypothermia, and the need for multiple blood transfusions, as well as a cardiac arrest during her treatment. While the prosecution may argue that those wounds inflicted from the knife weren't enough to kill her, defense argues that going through the window and sustaining life-altering injuries is inconsistent with someone that's merely pretending to take their life. Then toxicology testing also complicates the medication issues. Lindsay's blood contained several of the psychiatric medications that she had been prescribed. The overall results did not show that Lindsay had taken a massive overdose. There could be explanations for this, but based on the toxicology presented so far, the evidence does not show that Lindsay swallowed enough medication to cause a fatal overdose. Prosecution displayed 9 medication bottles that still contained pills and used them to challenge the description that Lindsay was taking every medication that she had been prescribed. Over approximately 4 months, Lindsay had been prescribed 13 different psychiatric drugs through more than 30 prescription and dosage changes. But she wasn't necessarily taking all 3 medications simultaneously. Some were stopped, replaced, adjusted, and several bottles still contained unused pills. And that distinction matters. Prescribed 13 medications is not the same as actively taking 13 medications on January 24th. However, the rapid succession of antidepressants, antipsychotics, benzodiazepines, sleep medications, and mood stabilizers is still central to the defense's claims that her treatment was inconsistent and that her condition continued deteriorating. Patrick testified that her mental health began declining.
Seems like they were just trying her on fucking everything, dude.
After Callan was born. She became intensely anxious, struggled to sleep, lost weight, and became fearful about returning to work. Defense says that Lindsay experienced a command hallucination telling her that this was her last opportunity to kill the kids so that she could kill herself. She stated that she heard...
So she said she was anxious about returning to work and sleep schedules and kids or whatever. And she heard a voice that told her this was the last chance to kill the kids before she could kill herself.
Became fearful about returning to work. Defense says that Lindsay experienced a command hallucination telling her that this was her last opportunity to kill the kids so that she could kill herself. She stated that she heard a man's voice say this. According to the defense, once the children were dead, the voice stopped. Prosecutors are challenging that claim. They've emphasized that Lindsay had not previously reported that specific voice and have questioned when she first disclosed it, who she had spoken with, and why it allegedly appeared only during the killings. The defense says that Lindsay mentioned the voice to hospital personnel before a defense psychologist interviewed her and denies that the story was created after she met with her attorneys. Ultimately, the jury will decide whether the Commonwealth proves that Lindsay was criminally responsible when she did it, or whether a severe mental disease or defect left her unable to legally understand or control her actions. And as of August 6th, some of the most important testimony has not happened yet. The jury has heard the scene, timeline, forensic, and medical evidence, but the central psychiatric experts who will attempt to explain Lindsay's mental state have not yet completed their testimony. That is the evidence that may ultimately decide whether Lindsay spends the rest of her life in prison or is found not criminally responsible and is committed for psychiatric treatment. Starting exactly where we left off on part 1 of the Lindsay Clancy case.
I would imagine her husband wasn't very happy with her. All right, now let's go into a longer, that's like the quick rundown. These are the things, this is what's been coming out in trial. Now let's go, this is a longer form video. It says, stunning new evidence raises serious questions.
I've got a lot to say in this coming episode, and it is, well, how do I say this?
Her defense team is claiming that she was in a state of psychosis and she can't be held responsible for these murders. She needs medical treatment, not prison.
This has been called America's saddest trial. And I think there's a lot of ways to read into that, right? Because there's really no mystery in this trial about who killed 3 beautiful little kids, Cora, Dawson, and Callan Clancy. No mystery. No, it was their mother. Their mother did it. Lindsay Clancy did it. She admits it. She admits it. She says, I strangled all 3 of my kids. And she even gave the description how. I used exercise resistance bands. It all happened inside the luxury Duxbury, Massachusetts home that she shared with her husband and kids. This happened back January 24th, 2023. But now we're learning a whole lot more. It is not just as simple as that one sweeping line, mom kills 3 kids, tries to kill herself. It's just not that simple. There are layers to this, and people are weighing in on both sides of it, and I get it, and I hear you.
Internet people are saying he talked her into it, or he did it, or he was the voice, or he drugged her, or maybe he just discovered she killed the kids and tried to kill her. Internet people are trying to put creepy husband with brand new life already into this category, like he had something to do with it too.
You, and I would love to hear what you think about this in the comments. But we're now more than a week into the testimony in the trial of Lindsay Clancy, and the evidence is producing a very complex picture. In fact, some of the state's own witnesses have described Lindsay Clancy as a woman who was unraveling for months on end. And not just unraveling, but like recognizing it and asking for help. A woman who was terrified by what was going on in her mind.
I think that makes it a lot worse. Like she was trying to seek medical treatment. She was trying to get medication. She was telling people what was going on. She was journaling this shit. And it was just like they were just throwing drugs at her and sending her back home.
There was something wrong, and acknowledging it and telling people and asking people, help me, shit's going sideways. But the question for this jury that's facing her in this courtroom now is, what was really going on inside your mind when you decided to kill your 3 children? The fact that you tried to kill yourself, you failed, okay. This helps the equation, but what was really going on deep down inside you? It's not a simple question, y'all. It really is not. Whenever you talk about insanity, it doesn't just mean you're crazy. Because I would venture to say 90% of people locked up are crazy for doing the crimes they do. But legal insanity, oh, that's layered. I'm going to get into it. I'm going to explain it all because it's important. A lot of people get it wrong and then they think, how'd that guy get off? Or why is that guy going to prison? There's a lot of questions. So the question here in this courtroom, was this, as the prosecutors say, a deliberate and methodical act carried out by a woman who understood exactly what she was doing and knew that it was wrong? That's key. That is key. Knowing exactly what you're doing when you're killing your children is not the end of it. You have to know the difference between right and wrong. And believe me, if you're watching this right now, you're probably saying, we all know that, right? We all know killing's bad. That's the key. Not always. As it turns out, not always. And that's why we have actually written up criminal code to accommodate for that. You may not agree with it. You may agree with it. But there is hard set criminal code that accommodates for people who literally have lost it all. They don't know right from wrong anymore. So if you think about Lindsay Clancy, was she methodical? Did she know absolutely every single step? Everything she was doing was wrong? Did she know the difference between right and wrong? Or was she so profoundly mentally ill, suffering from a postpartum psychosis? Not the baby blues. Let's please just do away with that bullshit from like the 40s. It's not the baby blues. It's truly science. You can develop a real sickness after having a baby. Was she buried under a rotating list of psychiatric medications and so out of it that she now technically, according to criminal code, is no longer criminally responsible for what she did? It's a hell of a question, not gonna lie. Whichever verdict this jury reaches, it is not gonna change one fact that nobody in that courtroom can escape. And it is a painful, harrowing fact. Cora, Dawson, and Callan are dead. And the person who killed them is also the person who, by virtually every account before that night, loved them to the end of the earth. Lindsay Clancy has repeatedly broken down throughout this trial. She first wiped away the tears during opening statements, as the prosecutors describe the way her 3 children died. Yeah? Can you imagine that? Having to listen to someone else describe it to everybody around you, and you know it's at your hands?
There was also a moment where the live stream was going. She became pretty upset during some photos that were being shown, and she was being escorted for like a recess out of the room. And someone thought they heard on a live stream shut her up. her lawyer brought this up and said, who the fuck is, doing this? What's going on? Why? Blah, blah, blah. This turns out that the prosecutor's office is saying someone was caught. It's kind of like a whisper saying, shut it off, like the PowerPoint presentation that we're playing. Shut it off.
Lindsay then started to cry when photographs were shown of her kids, Cora, Dawson, and Callan. And then she sobbed as her husband, Patrick, his frantic 911 call was played. Everybody could then hear the horror that was unfolding in real time. She became emotional as the family's former...
I want to hear his 911 call, but I don't think we get to hear it.
He got up on the stand and then described little Callan as, quote, the happiest, sweetest, easiest baby. And then she just lost it, right? She just lost it. Uncontrollable sobbing during the testimony about Callan's autopsy. Yeah, I know. Could you imagine that? And in fact, it got so bad that the judge actually stopped and said recess. And then they escorted her from the courtroom. And when I say escorted from the courtroom, everyone could hear her sobbing. I get it. Yeah, you're sad. Your kids are gone and are dead. But it doesn't change the fact that you did it, right? You did it. You did it. You imagine, first of all, if you get triggered easily, I would say turn the volume down. But as I lived through the case in Texas, where Andrea one by one
fucking
bands and strangling the children.
Yapping and yapping and yapping.
You know, what those kids went through until everything went black. So yes, I get the sobbing. It doesn't change. She breaks down and sobs in court. It's not evidence, right? And oftentimes the judge will say something to the jury about what's happening with the defendant. Or angry at her? I don't know. Everyone's different. So now let's thinking about, or you're not supposed to be chatting, you're not supposed to be reading online, you're not supposed to be listening to the news. You just get the case we give you. And the biggest developments in this trial so far, and the evidence at the heart of this case, is what they will walk into that jury room with, and they will consider that. Can I promise you that they don't do other stuff too? Think about other stuff, talk I saw on the news. But Lindsay chose one word to write down on that piece of paper, and that word was horrified. She also communicated and asked whether she had an attorney, whether her body was broken, whether her legs were straight, where her family was, and whether she could have visitors. Days later, after spinal surgery, a psychiatrist described Lindsay as calm and cooperative. Let's not forget, you get lots of drugs, coming out of surgery, so that could be part of all that. But Lindsay denied suicidal or homicidal thoughts and denied hallucinations or delusions during this examination, right? Just during this examination, asked about all those things and said no. Her thinking appeared, according to the expert, as organized, as goal-directed, and she later focused on her legal situation and her physical rehabilitation. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, there's a case right there, slam dunk. This is where it gets weird. Criminal code does not consider your behavior afterwards necessarily as evidence of your behavior during the event, right? You can snap out of it. You can be completely sane in a day, a week, a month, or a year. And it does not affect the moment where the thing happened that brought you into that courtroom. So it's interesting, and it will definitely make people think, what? And I'm sure the jurors will think, well, how? But don't judge yet, because it's always a battle of the experts, right? One expert will come on and say, she fine. And then the next expert will come on and say, now, examination. The psychiatrist agreed that a person can communicate, can make plans, and still be psychotic. She also described Lindsay as an honest patient. So little by little, when you watch this case, you can really see the building blocks that both sides are trying to teach these jurors. Because honestly, it's not about what you and I are hearing. It's really not. It's all about the panel, how they're hearing it. The communication is directly to this panel of jurors. Like how she got there, how she got to a point in that basement where she snuffed out the lives of the three little people who trusted her the most. In a hot minute, I have a guest that is going to help make so much sense of this case, because Dr. Casey Jordan is, she's just exquisite in the way she breaks things down. She doesn't just see it as, black and white. She sees the layers. She understands the psychology. And I have a gazillion questions for her about the psychology of this case, because it all comes down to that. So that's coming up in just a minute. The jury also heard from the man who watched her mental health unravel in real time in the months before the murders. And that's Lindsay's now ex-husband, Patrick Clancy. If you know anything about this, and even if you don't, most people are gobsmacked that this husband is in her corner. She killed his 3 kids, and he's in her corner. And if you are old enough to remember the Andrea Yates case, you will also remember that Rusty Yates, Andrea's husband, the father of the 5 children Andrea killed, he was in her corner too. Because these men are...
Patrick Clancy remarried in April of 2026 to Dr. Rachel Dennis, a 37-year-old reproductive endocrinologist and infertility specialist in New York City, following his divorce from Lindsay Clancy following the tragic deaths of their 3 children. In January 2023, Patrick moved to Manhattan, where he and Rachel live together. They do not share any children together.
The only people who spend that much time that close to that brain and that mood and that mindset and that possible psychosis. They bear witness to everything prior to and sometimes during. So they're critical witnesses. In December of 2022, in the month before the murders, Patrick said that Lindsay's medication changed, and Patrick described what followed as a, quote, big spiral. Patrick said that Lindsay made suicidal statements, and most significantly, Patrick said that she told him she had thoughts of hurting the children. So she's being honest and saying something's wrong. These thoughts are coming into my head. But those thoughts appeared completely disconnected from the mom that he saw.
There's probably 18 because there's alternates.
Going through the motions every day, caring for the kids. He just sort of thought it's incongruous, right? He testified, and I will read his words, what he actually said about that. He said it was very confusing because the next minute she was making them
In very lengthy or intense cases, there's often alternates
or putting them to bed.
that set in on the trial.
He said he never saw Lindsay harm the children, any of them. And then came January 24th, 2023. Patrick said that despite everything Lindsay had been going through, the day seemed to be actually one of her best days. He said Lindsay searched for a restaurant in Plymouth and asked him to pick up some takeout for dinner. She also asked him to make a stop at CVS as well because Cora needed some medicine. Prosecutors say those were not ordinary errands. Oh, no, they were like part of the core of the case, according to the prosecutors. They say Lindsay deliberately sent Patrick on his way. That she deliberately created a big, gaping opportunity so that she could go about her business and kill their 3 kids, all while he was none the wiser and couldn't possibly walk in and stop it. So that jury has now seen the route that Patrick took. They actually saw it for themselves. They were given one of those go-sees, a drive-along. You know, they drove past the CVS and they drove past the restaurant, and then they were taken inside the family's former home. Yes, former. Could you imagine living there? I could not. Some people do, not many. But the jury got to go there. They saw the basement where the children were found dead. They saw the yard beneath the second-story bedroom window where Lindsay landed after she perceived she'd be jumping to her death after cutting herself. Jury go-sees are not 100% of the cases, right? They're not. I was so would ever have a chance to do a go-see. I was always upset about that, and I know that Kaylee Gonzalez's dad was very upset about that too.
I can't. She's just yapping a lot.
Good morning, sir. Can you stop like here?
This is Patrick Clancy's testimony.
Good morning. Just officer, the testimony in the evidence shall get to court. In return, now kindly between the common law and the defendant's shall give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Thank you. You may have a seat.
All right, good morning, sir. I'm going to ask you to speak into that microphone. You can be seated if you'd like, to be more comfortable. Okay. All right, Kamal, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning. Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
Yeah, my name's Patrick Clancy. It's PatrickClancy.
And what is your date of birth?
June 15th, 1988.
What city do you live in now?
New York.
And what do you do for a living?
I work in tech.
How long have you worked in tech?
14 years.
And were you previously married to a person named Lindsay Clancy?
Yes.
And you're divorced now, is that correct?
Correct.
Do you see that person in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Could you point to them and describe something they're wearing?
She's wearing a shirt.
Record will reflect the identification of the defendant.
Thank you. Where did you meet the defendant?
In South Boston.
And when was that?
I think it was May 2013.
And how did you meet her?
Through my cousin.
And would it be accurate to state that your cousin had been college roommates of the defendant?
Yes.
And at some point in time, did you start dating?
Yes.
And around what time was that?
July 2013.
Did you eventually move in together?
Yes.
Do you remember when that was?
September 2015.
And where did you live?
In Quincy.
How long did you live in Quincy?
1 year.
And where did you go after that?
We bought a house in Weymouth.
And how long did you live in Weymouth?
2 years.
Did you eventually get married?
Yes.
And when was that?
December 2016.
And was that while you were living in Weymouth?
Yes.
Did you have your first child when you were living in Weymouth?
Yes.
And what was her name?
Cora.
And what was her date of birth?
December 24th, 2017.
Prior to getting married, did the defendant ever tell you she had taken psychiatric medication while in nursing school?
Not that I recall.
After having Cora, did the 3 of you move somewhere else?
Yeah, we moved to Duxbury.
And what was your address in Duxbury?
47 Summer Street.
And do you recall when you moved there?
I believe it was July 2018.
And where were you working at that time?
I was working for a startup called Automation Anywhere.
At some point in time, did you start working for Microsoft?
Yes.
And when was that?
May 2020.
And when you worked for Microsoft, did you go to an office or did you work from home?
I worked from home.
And was that from 2020 onward that you worked from home?
No, I started working from home in 2018.
2018, okay. So from 2018 up until, let's say, 2023, you were working from home, is that correct?
Yes.
And did you have an office in your home which you worked out of?
Eventually, yeah.
And where was that located?
In the basement.
And was that a finished basement?
Yes.
Going back to after Cora was born, do you recall the defendant having any physical issues after the birth?
Yeah.
And what were those?
I think there was a lot of tearing, and she bled a lot.
Did it take her a while to recover physically?
I would say so, yeah.
Did she have maternity leave at that time?
Yes.
Where was she working?
Mass General Hospital.
And what was she doing there?
She's a labor and delivery nurse.
At that point in time when she had Cora in 2017, how long had she been a nurse?
3 years, maybe.
And Do you recall how long her maternity leave was with Cora?
That was the shortest of the three. I want to say it was 10 or 11 weeks.
And did you have paternity leave at that time?
Yeah, I had 2 weeks.
2 weeks, okay. When you went back after the 2 weeks back to work in the home, were there any issues that you noticed the defendant having?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just want to correct an earlier statement. I was working for Pegasus Systems when Cora was born.
Okay. And then eventually you worked for Microsoft?
Yeah.
Okay. And so after the 2 weeks of your paternity leave, the defendant was still on maternity leave, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And did she have to take any psychiatric medications at that time?
Not that I know of. She had a lot of anxiety, but...
Okay. So you're saying that she had some anxiety at that time, is that correct?
Yeah.
How did that manifest, or how did you know that?
She just really struggled with the date of going back to work.
So immediately after having Cora, as she healed physically, what was her mood like when you're both on leave?
It was great. It was good.
Good. Okay.
I mean, relatively, yeah.
And so did the anxiety start as it became closer in time to when she had to go back to work?
Yes.
How many shifts was she working at that time?
Before Cora was born, she was working at least 40 hours, maybe more. After she went back to work, it was, I think, initially just one.
One shift?
Yeah.
And was that a 12-hour shift?
It was per diem, and then she eventually did 2 shifts.
Okay.
I think it was 20 weeks.
After 20 weeks, she moved to 2 shifts?
I'm sorry, it was 20 hours a week.
20 hours a week, okay. And so from the time she worked her way back up to 20 hours a week at work until she had your next child, did it remain that 20 hours per week that she worked?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. And did you have any assistance in the home during that time after she went back to work? A nanny or a babysitter?
Yeah, we had babysitters. We had a babysitter who came probably 12 hours a week.
And did that typically happen after your wife had a shift, that the nanny or the babysitter would be there?
Yeah, so she could sleep.
Did the defendant work overnights?
Yeah.
And how long did you have that nanny or babysitter for?
Several years.
Do you remember her name?
We called her Miss Jen.
Miss Jen. Do you remember her last name?
Shanahan.
Yeah, it's 12 primary juries, 6 alternates. Said that.
And then you have a second child, is that correct?
Yes.
And what was their name?
Dawson.
And what was Dawson's date of birth?
September 30th, 2019.
And was Miss Jen still helping out in the home at that time?
Yeah.
And what was Dawson's delivery like?
Pretty traumatic.
How so?
He was in I think a breech position. So he came out in I guess I don't know much about it, but not an ideal way. And it caused just significant bruising and tearing.
So again, did the defendant with this second pregnancy have some pain and difficulty physically healing from the birth?
Yeah, much more so than Cora.
And was she on maternity leave at that time?
Yes.
How many weeks leave did she have at that time?
I don't recall, but I think it was more than the traditional 12. I want to say it was 13 or 14, maybe more.
Page 13. If I may approach.
You don't have to keep telling me the pages, that's okay.
I can have you look at page 13 and just read to yourselves line 6 through 10, and then just look up when you're finished. Thank you. Does that refresh your memory as to how much maternity leave the defendant had after Dawson's birth?
Yeah.
And what was it?
18.
18 weeks? Is that correct?
I believe so.
I mean, she clearly thinks she did it. I mean, she's not even claiming she didn't do it.
And after dealing with the physical pain of birth and starting to heal, how was her demeanor and experience during that maternity leave?
I think it was fine at first. It was always when she had to go back to work, that's when she struggled. So
that was a pattern that you saw after
Yeah.
the baby. Maternity leave was good, and then she'd struggle going back to work.
she just had a really hard time being separated from them.
What was the plan for how many shifts she would work or how many hours she would work after Dawson was born?
I believe it was the same thing.
And in terms of Ms. Shanahan, the babysitter, you had mentioned before that she was there about 12 hours a week. Did that stay consistent after Dawson's birth, or was it more or less?
Probably consistent.
After Dawson's birth, did the defendant ever tell you whether she was on any psychiatric medication after Dawson's birth?
No.
Did she seek treatment or tell you she sought treatment after Dawson's birth?
Yeah, she got a therapist for a short period of time, but it didn't last very long.
Did she tell you that at the time or later?
At the time.
Okay. And did she have any psychiatric hospitalizations or commitments at that time?
No.
What about after Cora's birth? Any psychiatric hospitalizations or treatments?
No.
Was there a time after Dawson's birth where she wanted to declutter your garage?
Maybe at some point.
Okay. Yeah. And did you assist her with that?
Yeah.
Okay. And how was that done?
We had a lot of stuff to throw away, and I think we sold some stuff on Facebook Marketplace. We just had a lot of stuff.
So did the two of you go through the items in the garage and organize it into what you would keep, what you would throw away, and what you would sell?
Yes.
Okay. And so it was very organized?
I would say so, yeah.
Okay. And you finished the project, is that correct?
It was always ongoing.
Now, eventually you had your third child, correct?
Yeah.
And what was their name?
Callan.
And what was his date of birth?
May 26th, 2022.
I might fail the date of birth thing.
Can you describe that delivery for us?
It was great. From what I could tell, it was relatively quick. It was during the day. We were both smiling after, and I don't think there was as much.
I always start second guessing myself, trying to do math.
Nothing compared to what happened with Cora or Dawson, is that correct?
Correct.
Did the defendant have maternity leave after Callan's birth?
Yeah.
And how long was that leave?
She never went back.
How long was it planned for initially?
I want to say 18 weeks.
Okay. And were you on paternity leave as well?
Yes.
And how long was your paternity leave?
12 weeks.
So with Callan being born on May 26, 2022, the two of you were home with the children that summer on leave, is that correct?
Yeah.
What was family life like during that time period, those summer months?
It was great. We had a lot of time off. I was able to spend a lot of time with, I spent a lot of time with Cora and Dawson. So I would take them around, the playgrounds and birthday parties and stuff like that.
Okay. And what would Lindsay be doing while you were with Cora and Dawson?
Sometimes she'd come with us with Callan, but oftentimes we did kind of like a divide and conquer. So she'd be home with Callan and I'd be out with the older kids.
And what types of family activities did you all do during those summer months?
We went on a couple vacations. We went to the beach. We went out on our boat and went to friends' houses.
During those months when you're going to the beach and out on the boat and visiting with friends, were there any signs of anxiety in the defendant during those months?
I would say starting in September, yes, but in the previous months, not so much.
When had she been scheduled to go back to work?
I don't remember the exact date, but I think it was October.
Okay. So again, it was that pattern of as it became closer in time to go back to work,
yeah.
She started to struggle?
Yeah.
During the times when she would get anxious, when it was time to go back to work and she would start being anxious, did you ever have any difficulty understanding her when she spoke?
No.
And did she ever exhibit any behavior that made you concerned enough to call a doctor or want to commit her?
No.
When she was showing this anxiety, what were you seeing in her behavior?
Just a lot of stress. There were days where she had all three kids and there's different nap schedules and different needs. So it was just really stressful.
Okay. And you're still working in the basement office at this point after Callan's born, correct?
I went back to work in late August.
Okay. And when you work downstairs, how often would you come upstairs during the day?
All the time, for lunch or just to say hi.
Were there times when Lindsay would ask you to hold the baby in the office while she was doing something?
So, yeah.
Okay. And were there times when you would watch one or more of the children while she took another to a doctor's appointment or to an errand or something like that?
Yeah, if it worked out with the schedule, yeah.
Okay. What was the plan in terms of how many shifts or hours she was going to work after Callan?
I believe the plan was 2 shifts per week, but there was a lot of flexibility. She could have done really anything.
Do you recall saying previously that you were going to start off with 1 shift and hopefully move to 2?
I could imagine, yeah.
Okay. And you said there were some options, correct? What were those options if that didn't work out?
Well, I always put money aside in basically our own maternity account, just so that if she needed more flexibility, we planned for that. So
if she needed more time off, more than what her work would provide for her, you were financially secure enough to afford that at this time? During this time, in the fall of 2022, were Cora and Dawson attending preschool?
Yes.
And where was that?
Learning Sprouts.
And where is Learning Sprouts located?
Duxbury.
How often were they attending Learning Sprouts?
Full days, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and a half day on Thursday.
And what was a full day? What hours?
I think it was 9-4.
9 a.m. to 4 p.m.?
I think so, yeah.
And what was a half day?
Like 9 to 12:30. I think they might have had some days where they started early. I can't remember.
Okay. But basically all day, working hours all day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then the mornings on Thursday, is that right?
Right.
And who would do drop-offs for school?
We both would.
And what about pickups?
Both of us.
Together or take turns?
Usually we'd take turns.
Now, at some point in time after Callan was born, did you hire a nanny?
Yes.
And when was that?
I think it was in August or September.
Of 2022?
Yeah.
And who was that nanny?
Lainey. I don't remember her last name.
Was it Lane Rossi? Sound familiar?
Yeah.
And do you recall how many days per week Elaine was going to work when you hired her?
I think it was 12 hours.
But it wouldn't be 12 hours altogether. It would be spread out over the week. Is that right?
Correct.
And who was she hired to take care of?
Everyone, but mainly it was going to be Callan.
Because Cora and Dawson would be at school?
For the most part, yeah.
And what was the plan for when Elaine would work? Was it that same type of after Lindsay worked shifts or something different?
I've never had maternity leave. Mariah's ovaries just shut down fucking gigantic corporations. Every time she gets pregnant, I get fucking fired or laid off or the company shuts down. She shut down the goddamn railroad, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah, the goal was after Lindsay she never went back to work.
For Christ's sake.
I think we wanted to get her just oriented with our house and the kids. So we got her start before, and And then she was amazing. She was an amazing caregiver. But eventually we decided to let her go because Lindsay was home anyways.
So when you initially hired her in August or September, you said Lindsay was going back to work in October. So is that what you're talking about, that give her that month or so, give Elaine that month or so to get situated and acclimated to the house?
Yeah.
Okay. Have the kids get used to her, is that right?
Yep.
Okay. Elaine, did she also do some cleaning, laundry, and food prep?
Yeah, she's amazing.
Now, during this time frame, and again in the end of summer, fall period of 2022, what types of activities were Cora and Dawson doing?
Gymnastics. Are you talking about organized activities or just in general?
Organized.
I only remember gymnastics.
Did they both do the gymnastics?
Yeah.
And then were they also participating, maybe not in organized situations, but in swimming, soccer, skiing, things like that?
Yeah, they were doing swimming. And yeah, Cora and Dawson did skiing. Cora started doing soccer. She didn't really like it, but did a little bit.
And who took them skiing?
I did.
And in terms of the swimming, where would you do that?
We did it at Goldfish in Rockland, I think. And then Lindsay took them somewhere in, I think, Plymouth. I don't remember where it was. So
you would each take them swimming at various times?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you also do some swimming at the Kingsbury Club?
Yes.
And what is the Kingsbury Club?
It's like a gym with a pool. And they had childcare, so sometimes they would hang out in the kids' room and we would go work out.
And is that in Duxbury?
It's on the Kingston-Duxbury line. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah.
Okay. And so you could drop the kids off at the daycare portion and go work out or swim or something like that?
Yeah, or we could go with them and go swimming.
Okay. Did Lindsay work out?
Yes.
She was very health conscious?
I think so.
And were you aware that she had been an athlete in both high school and college?
Yes.
Do you recall?
Don't fucking worry about it, Mariah. Damn.
What she did?
Competitive cheerleading.
Now, when you were together, what type of exercise would she do, or did she prefer?
She did a lot of running. She did the Peloton, and she did there's like some program called Beachbody, I think.
Do you recall when she started Beachbody?
Tybo.
Maybe in the spring of 2022. I'm not sure.
Really blank.
So right before having Callan, would that be accurate?
Probably, yeah.
When you returned to work, and you said that was in August, correct?
Yes.
What was the defendant's demeanor when you returned to work?
Increased anxiety and definitely, stressed out.
Do you recall describing her as slightly stressed but in good spirits?
Yeah.
And when she was stressed out, when she was showing some anxiety, how did that manifest?
I don't really know how to describe it. I guess it's just any way you can tell that somebody's stressed out. And I don't know, she would say, I'm not looking forward to going back to work. I remember once she said it's just so unnatural to be separated from your newborn, stuff like that.
So she didn't want to go back to work? Is that what you're saying?
I think she did. It was just a really difficult transition for her.
Yeah. And do you recall attending a wedding on September 17th, 2022?
Yeah.
And where was that wedding?
New Hampshire.
Was it just you and Lindsay that went, or did the whole family go?
We brought Callan.
And when you were at that wedding, do you recall having a conversation with Lindsay about medication?
Yes.
What did she say to you?
We were walking downtown, and she said, I think I'm going to start taking Zoloft.
And did she tell you why she wanted to start taking Zoloft?
She said, I think it's really going to help with my anxiety and with going back to work.
And did she tell you how she was going to go about getting Zoloft?
Yeah, I
buy from a Zoloft dealer.
It's a prescription, and she said, usually just ask the doctor and they'll give it to you.
And did she tell you that she was going to see a psychiatrist?
Yeah, I believe so.
And when she did that, did she tell you who she was going to see?
No.
Did you eventually learn the name of the person who she went to see?
Months later, yeah.
Okay. And who was that?
Jennifer Tufts.
Okay. And did Lindsay tell you when she started seeing Dr. Jennifer Tufts?
No.
Did you learn, or strike that, did Lindsay tell you when she received the medication and when she started it?
No. I should correct that. It's not exactly.
Well, let me just ask a question first.
Sure.
Did you have a conversation with Lindsay about the medication she was on?
Eventually, yeah, but I didn't know the start date.
Okay. And so when did this conversation take place, this eventual conversation?
Probably the end of October.
Okay. And at that point, what did Lindsay tell you about the medication and how she was taking it?
I don't remember exactly, but I learned that she was taking the Zoloft, and I don't remember really too much about it after that. She was just taking it, and we were seeing how it went.
I don't know. I mean, he's not giving me too bad of vibes. All his kids were murdered, so.
And did you notice any changes in her physically during that time frame that she was on it and you weren't aware she was on it?
At the time, no, I don't think I did.
And did you notice any changes in her emotionally during that time when she was on it, but you weren't aware she was on it?
Yeah, she wasn't really improving. She just kind of seemed to be gradually becoming more in like a depressed state.
And how was that manifesting? What were you noticing?
It was just small things. I was planning a trip with Cora to San Francisco, and she...
I think he failed her more than anybody else.
Was nervous about us going, and I remember we went to a Halloween event, and just leading up to it, I remember it just kind of seemed like she didn't want to go for some reason.
Okay. Now, do you recall learning that she had actually obtained the prescription the day before she told you she was going to ask for the prescription?
I did later learn that, yeah.
So she's telling you at the wedding that she is going to ask to take this medication and going to see a psychiatrist to get on that medication, but she actually already had the prescription. Is that correct?
Correct. I don't think she started taking it yet, but she already had it.
Okay. And did Lindsay tell you how long she took the medication for?
She may have. I don't remember the exact time frame. I just remember she took it for a period of time, and then her sleep started to suffer, so she stopped taking it.
And did she tell you whether or not she spoke to her provider, her doctor, about the troubles she was having?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. And did Lindsay tell you that she was advised to double the dose of the Zoloft?
She may have. I don't remember.
Page 31. You could look at lines 20 to 22, and then just look up when you're finished.
Okay, yeah, apparently she did.
Is that refresh memory?
Yeah.
And so did Lindsay tell you that she was supposed to double the dose?
I guess she did, yeah.
Is that woman in front of him doing whippets?
Was supposed to double the dose?
I guess she did, yeah.
Did you notice any changes in her sleep during that time when she was on the medication but you weren't aware she was on it?
Eventually, yeah.
When was that?
I don't remember the exact dates.
A lot of people's Zoloft causes insomnia. They can't fall asleep, can't stay asleep, and then during the day they'll have daytime drowsiness.
But she just, one night she said, do you mind, she started by saying, I'm not mad or anything, but do you mind sleeping in the basement? And letting me just sleep in our room with Callan. And then you can take the monitors down in the basement, and if Cora and Dawson get up, you can get up with them. She said, I've just been having a lot of trouble sleeping.
Mariah worked night shift for like 2 weeks. Everybody in the house wanted to fucking leave. Like we were ready to divorce, emancipate, send her off to Siberia, whatever. 2 weeks of night shift, we were all done. Our whole life was over. We're ending it here, clean break.
And I'm hoping that, like, if there's less in and out, then there'll be less disruption.
Okay. Had you noticed prior to her telling you this that she was up a lot or having trouble sleeping, like physically seeing her awake?
No, not that I recall.
And did you in fact start sleeping in the basement for a period of time?
I think I did it for like 2 nights, and then she actually went down to the basement.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so then you went back up to your bedroom to sleep, is that correct?
Yeah.
And how long did Lindsay sleep?
It felt like a year. It felt like 10 years. It felt like a prison sentence.
Or after that?
Maybe a couple weeks.
And so during that time frame, was she telling you that she was still having trouble sleeping?
Yes.
But you weren't actually down there watching her sleep. You're getting this information from her, correct?
Correct.
Were you aware that out of the Zoloft prescription she was given, she only took 7 pills?
No.
After you had the conversation with Lindsay where she said she was going to double the dose of Zoloft, did you notice any difference in her demeanor or behavior?
I would say yes. I don't know if I connected it with the doubling of her Zoloft, but over that period of time, she just kept getting worse and worse.
And what period of time was that? What month are we in?
Mid-October to the end of December.
Okay, so she got the prescription in September, started taking it in October, took 7 pills, but was having difficulty in December. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
From this medication?
Yep. Well, I don't know which medication it was from, but yeah.
Okay. At some point in time, did Lindsay switch providers?
Yes.
And why did she do that?
Because whatever she was doing with Jennifer Tufts, it wasn't working. She was only getting worse. And she thought that it would be better if she worked with, I guess, more like a perinatal psychiatrist.
And did she get a referral or a recommendation of where to go?
I think so, yeah.
Do you know who gave her that recommendation?
It might have been my mother.
And your mother's a nurse at Social Hospital, correct?
Yeah.
Does she also do labor and delivery work?
Yes.
Okay. And so do you know which provider or which office that she recommended?
Yeah, her name is Julie Paul.
And was she at the South Shore Perinatal Clinic?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. And do you know when that was?
I don't know the dates on that.
Do you recall saying previously that it was towards the end of November?
Yeah, that sounds accurate, yeah.
Okay. And you said she initially saw someone named Julie Paul, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And do you know how long she saw Julie Paul at that facility?
I think it was only 4 or 5 days.
And were you aware that Julie Paul left that office?
Yes.
And do you know?
I think that the only doctor that testified about the bipolar disorder said that he just didn't have enough time with her. There's no way to give her a bipolar diagnosis.
Know who Lindsay saw after Julie Paul?
Rebecca Gelato.
And was Rebecca Gelato a nurse practitioner?
Yes.
Were you aware that she also saw a licensed social worker therapist named Letitia Dukes while she was at the South Shore Perinatal Clinic?
I don't recall Letitia Dukes, but it's possible.
So Lindsay never told you that she had therapy sessions with a person named Letitia Dukes during that time frame?
I don't remember any therapy sessions now.
I gotta grab some water. You guys keep watching.
After
we're gonna watch all this. I don't know what to think yet.
Julie Paul and then Rebecca Gelato, did Lindsay start coming home with different prescription bottles?
Yes.
Okay. And were some of these medications that she came home with, were some of them during the time she was with Dr. Tufts?
I think some of them were, yeah.
And some of them were while she was with Julie Paul, is that correct?
Correct.
And then some while she was with nurse practitioner Gelato, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And would it be accurate to state that you provided the district attorney's office with a printout from CVS Pharmacy of all the prescriptions that were filled for Lindsay from September?
That mystery food that I was eating earlier that I can't tell anybody about, it dried me out. I had to get some water.
Through January, September 2022 through January of 2023.
Yes.
Any objection?
No, of course not.
Sure, yeah. In members of the jury, one of the things I forgot to tell you is anything that's entered as an exhibit, you'll have with you in the deliberating room when you're deliberating. So you'll have a chance to go over that as well. So you'll have anything that's marked as an exhibit. Okay? Thank you.
This guy here, he's pretty famous for women who snap and making cases around self-defense, even though at the time the women killed, they weren't physically being attacked, that they have basically been tortured for years and they're going to snap eventually. One of the cases was like a woman who had been abused or whatever, and the night before, the man had shoved her a couple times in the car and hit her a couple times while she was driving, and then the next day she gets up and fucking kills him. You know, he's kind of known for that. High-profile cases that involve a woman kind of snap after years of abuse.
Now, while she was taking these medications, the various pills, were you always with her, watching and monitoring exactly what she took?
Not always, no.
Sometimes you'd see it, sometimes you wouldn't?
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Directing your attention to February 6th, 2023, did you go to the district attorney's office and or have your attorney go there and provide a bag of prescription medication that had belonged to Lindsay?
Yeah, I think the police took a bag of prescription medications that night, the night my kids passed away. Mm-hmm. And then there was a bag that I had in my truck that I was supposed to, nurse practitioner Gelato said you can bring them to like a police station, they get rid of them for you. But I never got around to it.
And where had you stored those in your truck?
In the center console. It's like underneath the center console that opens.
You have one of those center consoles that open up, but then there's another larger compartment below it?
Yeah.
So was it your plan to bring these to a location where they could be properly disposed?
Yeah, I didn't want to just throw them in the trash, so.
And these were all medications that had been prescribed in the past to Lindsay, but she was no longer taking, correct?
Right.
Your Honor, I don't think I have any objection to any of their exhibits, so she doesn't have to keep showing it to me. That's fine.
So I'll assume if you do have an objection, just rise, let me know. Okay, thank you.
For the record, back here with 9 pill bottles as exhibit 2, please.
Thank you.
And so looking in exhibit 2, we have the Zoloft that was prescribed by Dr. Tufts and filled on September 15th, 2022. And I think I asked you earlier, you weren't aware that only 7 pills were taken out of this, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And then there's another prescription in here for Ativan that was filled on October 26th, 2022. Were you aware that only 6 pills were taken out of that bottle?
Can you say the date again?
October 26th, 2022.
And how many did it start with?
Let's see. Okay. 30 pills.
Okay. I mean, I don't have those exact numbers on how many she took, but there were adjustments made on the dosage of the Ativan, mm-hmm. So it aligns with.
But the question was, were you aware that only 6 pills were taken out of this prescription?
No, but I think the context is important.
Okay. Were you aware that there was a prescription for buspirone or Buspar filled on October 26, 2022, in which only 2 pills were taken out of the 30 that were prescribed?
I found out about the Buspar later, and I didn't know about the number of pills taken.
And then were you aware that there was a prescription for hydroxynine, a prescription filled on October 26, 2022, for 30 pills, and that only 3 pills were taken out of this bottle?
Which
hydroxynine?
Yeah, what is that?
I believe it's some type of, similar to an antihistamine, like Benadryl or something like that.
Oh, okay. I don't really recall much about that drug.
Okay. And were you aware in this bag there was another prescription for Buspar that was filled on November 9th, 2022, 30 pills prescribed, and no pills were taken out of this bottle? Were you aware of that?
I wasn't keeping track of the number of pills taken out of each bottle, so.
And then just ask you about one more, the Trazodone, prescribed on November 16th, 2022, by a doctor from South Shore Hospital, 30 pills. Were you aware that only 7.5 pills were taken out of this prescription?
No.
So there were a lot of pills prescribed, but not a lot of pills taken, correct?
Is that comprehensive of all the pills that were prescribed?
These are the pills that you brought into the police station. So out of these?
Out of those, yeah. It's possible that not a lot were taken.
Do you recall what was the most amount of pills prescribed? I guess I could ask this better. What was the maximum number of medications she was on at any one time?
I want to say 3 or 4.
Okay. Would it surprise you to know that she, at any given time, the most she was prescribed was 3, but most of the time it was 2 medications that she was prescribed at any given time?
It wouldn't be terribly surprising, no.
Now, on November 16th, 2022, did Lindsay visit South Shore Hospital?
Yes.
Okay. And why did she go to the South Shore Hospital that day?
I believe that day was because she basically...
I can pretty much eyeball how much is missing out of an 8-ball. So I basically keep up with mine.
48 hours without sleeping.
And was she having heart palpitations?
I think so, yeah.
Were you aware that she had taken a weed gummy that day?
I don't recall.
And are you aware that she didn't tell medical staff at the hospital when describing her symptoms and her medication that she left out that she had used marijuana?
I wasn't with her, so I don't know what she talked about at the hospital.
So she drove herself to the hospital?
She did.
Okay. And she drove herself home from the hospital then, is that correct? Now, during this time frame between September and November of 2022, are you still participating in activities as a family?
Between November and December?
Between September and November?
Yeah.
Okay. And what types of things were you doing?
We celebrated Halloween. I don't really remember what else, but I think we were doing things regularly.
Do you recall going to an event with food trucks?
Yeah.
And do you recall going to an event in November where there were trains to ride with the kids?
Yeah.
So we have the photo from the food truck event because we did it 3. And the photo from the train event is exhibit 4. 3 and 4 somewhere. Can I publish?
You may.
So exhibit 3 is this Lindsay, Cora, and Callan at that event.
Yeah.
And exhibit 4, this Lindsay with all 3 kids at that event in November.
Yeah.
Did you have plans for Thanksgiving that year?
Yeah.
What were your plans?
I believe the order was we went to Wallingford where her parents lived in the week before, and then the week after we went to my sister's house.
And where did your sister live? What town?
Southampton.
And that was a week after Thanksgiving, is that right, correct?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, it was.
And is this a photo from Thanksgiving at your sister's house?
Yes.
I did have this photo marked as exhibit 5, I believe.
All right, that may be marked.
5. Showing you what's been marked. Exhibit 5. Is this Lindsay here on the left?
Yes.
And are those your sisters in the photo with her?
That's one of my sisters and my sister-in-law.
Okay. And have they coordinated outfits for the day? The shirts?
Yeah, I think my sister did.
What was Lindsay's demeanor that day?
She was in rough shape.
Rough shape?
Yeah.
How so?
She wasn't talking much. She had low energy. She was really depressed. I just remember when she showed up, my sister-in-law gave her a big hug.
And she was able to get through dinner, eat dinner with everyone?
Yeah.
Okay. She interacted with people, is that correct?
I would say very little, but to some degree, sure.
And she took care of the kids with you while she was there?
We both took care of the kids together.
You mentioned earlier that your wedding anniversary is in December, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you recall going out for your anniversary on December 3rd, 2022, going into Boston?
No.
Are they just trying to prove that she was happy because she like visited family and she went to, she celebrated her wedding anniversary at a dinner? Like, I don't understand.
You don't recall arranging for a massage for Lindsay and then going to the Omni Parker house and going out to dinner that night?
No, December 3rd, 2022, we stayed home.
You stayed home, okay. Show me a photo of you and Lindsay. You recognize this photo?
Yeah.
And when was that taken?
I'm not really sure.
It wasn't taken on December 3rd when you were out celebrating your anniversary?
In 2022?
Yes.
No. No, we wanted to go out, but we canceled because she wasn't feeling well, so we stayed home and got takeout.
Okay. Did you also, on November 26th, 2022, go out as a family to get a Christmas tree?
Yes. Well, probably. I don't know. But yeah, around that time, yes.
Okay. Show me 2 photos. Are these from that day when you got the Christmas tree?
Yeah, that looks accurate.
I mean, their job is to not understand mental health. Their job is to get a conviction.
You can have the first photo of all 5.
Oh, no. You've never been in a manic episode and still managed to be normal. You think you're normal. No one looks at you and says, yep, that's normal. How the fuck is she using a toothbrush on the ceiling fan? Well, she's just being normal.
And then the second one is Exhibit 7. Exhibit 7. Showing you Exhibit 6. This is all of you at the tree farm.
Yeah.
And Exhibit 7, those are kids.
Yes.
No. No. In fact, no. She has manic episodes where she decides to clean or fucking organize or do the weirdest shit, but she never finishes.
Around December 6, 2022, did Lindsay tell you she was starting a new medication?
I don't remember specifically.
Is it that you don't remember the date, or you don't remember her starting a new medication?
I'm not sure.
Do you remember Lindsay telling you at some point she was starting the medication Seroquel?
Yes.
Do you remember around what time frame that was?
I thought it was before December 6th.
Okay. And do you recall how she was physically after starting the Seroquel?
Awful.
How so?
That was really where her big spiral started. She started to lose a lot of weight, and she became very depressed, and she was having a really hard time.
And did she...
Why weren't we getting her like inpatient stays or being more involved in her treatment or something? Like clearly something's going on. You're describing it as awful.
Describe to you some thoughts or feelings that she was having at that time?
Yeah, she started to say she was suicidal.
And was that in December of 2022?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
And then I got to come back and fix the mess that she made.
She told you she was suicidal. Did you ask her if she had a plan on how to kill herself?
Yes.
And what was her response?
She said no.
Okay. And did she ever mention a specific way or plan she had to kill herself to you?
No.
He even said that she was talking about committing suicide, and he was still running off and leaving her alone with the kids, and it was just weird.
And at some point in time, did she tell you that this was the first time she had suicidal thoughts?
I don't know if she mentioned it was the first time or not. I just remember her saying she had them.
Had you ever heard her say that to you before, that she was having suicidal?
He had a maternity fund, so she didn't have to run back to work. It didn't matter what her insurance was. He could have just paid for a hospital stay.
Thoughts?
No.
Did you own at that time a Surface Pro type of tablet that works as a laptop?
Yeah.
And who had access to that laptop?
We both did.
You and Lindsay?
Yeah.
And going back to August 22nd, 2022, did you click on a link on that Surface Pro that was titled Methods of Suicide?
Not that I recall.
And August 22nd, 2022, that was before Lindsay had been on any medications, as far as you know, correct?
Correct.
Going back to December, she's told you that she's having these thoughts. What's your reaction when she tells you that she's having these suicidal thoughts?
I just wanted to support her. I asked those questions back to her, and her mother was coming up pretty regularly anyway, so we let them know, and we just tried to be supportive.
Did she also tell you at that time, at the beginning of December, that she was having some other intrusive thoughts?
Yeah.
Is that how she described them, or how you described them, intrusive thoughts?
I would say both.
Okay. And when she told you that she was having intrusive thoughts, did you ask her what they were?
Yeah.
And what was her response?
She described thoughts of hurting the kids or them having some sort of ailment. So like she was very worried that Cora had, whenever she had a stomach ache, she became overly worried that she was like had like a liver problem or something much more dramatic than it was.
Okay. But going back to that first part, she said she had thoughts of harming the kids. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And did she tell you whether or not she had specific thoughts of how she would harm the kids?
No.
And she didn't describe that as hearing this external voice telling her to harm the kids, correct?
Correct.
She told you she was having intrusive thoughts herself of harming the children, correct?
Correct.
And did you ask her how she was going to harm the kids?
I didn't ask it in that way. It was the same thing. I said, do you have a plan, and is it disturbing to you? And she said no, and then she said yes. And
let me go back for a minute there. You said, do you have a plan? And she said no. What was the second part of the question?
I said, do you find it disturbing? And she said yes. And she described it as, really the way she was describing it as something that might happen to the kids.
It was more something might happen than she might do something. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And did she tell you how long she had those thoughts for?
She didn't give a duration.
And how many times did she tell you this, that she had thoughts of harming the kids?
A couple times.
And was that a couple times over the course of a night or two in December?
Yeah.
Okay. And as a result of her...
Penicillin. A lot of people think it's love. It's not.
Telling you this, that she had thoughts of harming the kids, what did you do?
Lay it like a brick wall and it just sits there.
Her parents came up, and I think I asked her at some point, do you feel like you need to be kept away from them? And she said no. And then, it was very confusing because a minute later she was making them lunch or playing with them or, getting ready for bed or whatever it was. So
it was confusing in that she wasn't physically harming them at the time, but was had these thoughts. Is that what you're saying?
Right. I never saw Lindsay harm the kids.
And did you also, as a result of
love in 3-inch doses,
these statements, suggest an appointment with nurse practitioner Gelada?
It wasn't as a result of these statements. That appointment was set up because we were at her parents' house in Wallingford for Thanksgiving, and she just described how she was feeling on the medication, and she felt that she was addicted to them.
Was that the benzodiazepines that she thought she was addicted to?
Primarily, and then she was taking Seroquel at the same time, and she might have been taking Trazodone or Remeron, I'm not sure.
Okay. Do you recall testifying previously that I called her parents to come up to stay with us, and I told her that I asked her who her doctor was because I was very concerned at this point. She was prescribed 10 different medications in just over 2 months, so it didn't make sense to me. And then you said, so after her parents came up, she said, I have a remote meeting with Rebecca Gelada, and you said, no, it has to be in person.
Yeah, I felt like it had to be in person because I just felt like there was a disconnect. I felt like we could figure it out, whatever was going on. So it seemed like most of her telehealth appointments were pretty quick, and there just wasn't like a lot of attention.
Were you present for these telehealth visits?
Only a few of them, and they were after that meeting with Gelada.
Okay. And that appointment in person with Gelada was December 6, 2022, is that correct?
That sounds correct.
So the thought of harming the kids was after Thanksgiving, but before December 6th, is that correct?
That sounds correct.
Were you concerned for the kids' safety at that time?
No, I wasn't.
And why not?
Because she wasn't showing any intention of harming the kids.
And she told you she didn't have a plan, is that correct?
Correct.
that's like the VA standard too. Do you have a plan? Do you have supplies, kind of deal? I don't know if that's a stance you want to take when someone talks about harming kids.
Now, directing your attention to December 15th, 2022, did Lindsay go...
Because kids be pissing me off all the time. I might not need a plan to jump into action.
...to Mass General Hospital, to the emergency department that day?
Yeah.
Okay, and why was that?
I remember the reasoning being she told her dad that she wanted to commit suicide, and then she said to me, I told my dad I want to die, and it didn't bother me at all.
And... as a result of those statements, you brought her, or did she bring herself to Mass General?
I think I brought her that time.
Okay. And at Mass General, she saw medical staff, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And did they recommend to her some type of admission to McLean Hospital?
I remember there was one doctor who was in favor of that, and there were two others who were more in favor of a day program.
Okay. And did they give you information about a specific day program?
Yeah, it was women and infants in Providence.
And at that time, when Lindsay was saying that she was suicidal, was she asked if she had a plan?
By the doctors?
Or by you?
I was always checking in with her, and she never told me that she had a plan. I'm not sure what the doctors asked her.
Okay. And after being at Mass General on December 15th, did she go to Women and Infants Hospital in Rhode Island to attempt to get into their postpartum program?
She was already in. She went in as scheduled.
Okay. And but she didn't remain in, correct? She was just there for a day?
Correct.
Okay. And did she go by herself? Did you go with her?
I dropped her off, and then I took Dawson skiing.
Okay. And at some point in time, did Lindsay reach out to you to say she wasn't staying at the program and to come pick her up?
She actually said that the providers at that program suggested to her that she call me and have her come get picked up, and then that I should go in and meet with the providers.
Okay. And then after you picked her up, she was no longer in the program at that point, correct? At Rhode Island Women and Children's, right?
Well, we discussed it with the doctors, and their recommendation was that the program wasn't right for her.
Right. And so you guys returned home, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And
why was the program not right for her?
And during this time frame in December, Lindsay's still working out at the Kingsbury Club, correct?
That might be true. I don't recall exactly, but yeah.
Okay. Do you recall her going to the Kingsbury Club on December 6th, 13th, 16th, 17th, or 18th?
I mean, I believe that can be true. Yeah, I don't recall those exact dates, but yeah.
At this time when she's saying that she's feeling suicidal, she's telling you she doesn't have a plan, correct? She's no longer saying she has any thoughts of harming the children, correct?
Correct.
She's still bringing the children to doctor's appointments during that time, right?
Yeah.
Do you recall her bringing Callan and Dawson to the doctors on December 2nd when they weren't feeling well?
Yeah.
And then she was able to call the doctor's office on December 27th and make an appointment for Callan and Cora when they weren't feeling well. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And take them to the doctor, I believe with you, correct?
Maybe. I don't know.
And then on December 30th, she was able to take Callan to the doctor that day as well and interact with the staff. Is that correct?
Probably.
Then you returned to Mass General Hospital, the emergency department, on December 31st. Is that correct?
Yes.
And why did you go back on the 31st?
Because she was still talking about thoughts of suicide, and I was exhausted. I said, I think it's time to go to McLean, and we didn't have a diagnosis, so we just didn't really know what was wrong. And I think for me, I was hoping that McLean could really evaluate her and try to figure out the best path forward.
Okay, so the path to getting to McLean was to go to the emergency department at Mass General and be referred to McLean, is that correct?
Yes.
Were you aware that that night while at the hospital, Lindsay was taking selfies?
No.
Might be suicide selfies.
Would you submit these photos as things?
Right, that may be admitted, or they may be admitted.
Can you exhibit me
Suicide selfies.
taking a selfie at the hospital, is that correct?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
And then the second page is just her legs in the doorway, is that correct?
Yep.
As a result of going to Mass General and telling them about her suicidal thoughts, was she transferred to McLean Hospital?
Yeah.
Okay. And did you stay with her throughout that transfer process, or were you able to?
I was not able to. For some reason, they transfer. I don't know if they do this with all patients, but she was transferred at 3 a.m.
Okay. And so she reached McLean in the early morning hours of January 1st, then, of 2023, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
They do a lot of transport overnight when the ambulances and shit aren't as busy.
Did you visit her at McLean Hospital?
Yeah.
How often did you see her there?
I think I was able to go twice, or maybe 3 times.
Okay. And do you remember, what visiting hours were, or what hours you visited?
I don't remember exactly, but it was something like 2 to 6, and I think there were morning hours.
I almost got airlifted one time for an ear infection. Isn't that wild?
But you couldn't just go anytime.
You couldn't?
They just couldn't get the helicopter there quick enough.
You could not.
Okay. And so you, out of the few days that she was there, 5 days she was there, you visited 2 or 3 times, is that correct?
Yeah.
And while you were there with her, did Lindsay talk to you about the treatment that she was receiving at McLean Hospital?
She told me about her experience. It didn't really seem like she was getting any treatment.
Okay. Did she tell you that she wasn't really getting any treatment, or wasn't getting as much care or treatment as she wanted?
Well, I think by the 3rd day, I said, what have the doctors said? And she said, I haven't met with the doctor. The challenge was she arrived on a Saturday, and then I think Monday was an observed poly-A, so she didn't see a doctor until Tuesday. So until then, she was coloring and playing with clay and going for walks.
Were you aware that she was seen by a resident, a doctor, the first 2 days she was there, and then an attending on the 3rd day that she was there?
No.
Were you aware that she was seen by a licensed social worker, group therapist, and other mental health workers every day while she was there?
Yeah, I didn't get any updates.
Were you aware that she was offered one-on-one therapy by unit staff every day that she was there?
No.
Did you know that she participated in group therapy on January 1st for 45 minutes, a session about illness and symptom management?
I was aware of some group activities. I didn't know the details of it.
And were you aware that she participated in 2 group therapy sessions, one for 45 minutes and one for 50 minutes, one on self-compassion and one on illness and symptom management on January 3rd?
I wasn't aware of the subjects of any of the meetings, no.
Were you aware that she declined further group therapy and treatment in the afternoon of January 3rd?
No.
Were you aware that on January 4th she participated in a group for 40 minutes called medication management?
No.
Were you aware that she participated in a group on January 5th on expressive therapy for 45 minutes?
No.
And were you aware that she declined further treatment 2 times on January 5th, one to attend group therapy and one to attend a session on cognitive behavioral processes?
No.
Were you aware that Lindsay asked the doctors to be discharged on the 6th, Friday the 6th, because she wanted to go to Corey's birthday party on the 7th?
Not that I recall.
Were you aware, or did Lindsay tell you that she then asked the doctors to discharge her on January 5th because she wanted to go home and get ready for the party?
I wasn't aware of Lindsay asking the doctors to be discharged.
Okay. Were there any insurance issues in terms of insurance refusing to pay for her stay at McLean Hospital?
We didn't really get to that point.
You weren't advised by the social worker or any staff there that there were any issues with your insurance, is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct, but I wouldn't have cared either.
Would you have just paid for it if needed?
I would have paid anything, yeah.
Ms. Sprague, is this a good time to break?
Yes.
All right, so members of the jury, we're going to break for the afternoon recess, and we'll see you back here about 2 o'clock, okay?
All rise. We're going to close the notebooks, take them on the chairs. Hold it.
Yeah, I knew about your treatment when you were like inpatient or whatever.
Your Honor, for the purpose of the record, we return back to the trial in the next.
Sir, before the break, we were talking about Lindsay's stay at McLean Hospital, correct?
Correct.
Were you aware that she was discharged on January 5th, 2023?
Yes.
And did you, in fact, bring her home that day?
I picked her up, yeah.
Were you aware that she had a follow-up appointment with Dr. Jennifer Tufts the following day?
Yes.
I want to show you some photos here of the children and just ask if this is a fair and accurate depiction of how they looked in January of 2023.
Yes.
Thank you. You can have the markers on these 4 exhibits.
All right. It may be marked.
How are you doing today?
So showing you Exhibit 9. This is Cora, correct? Can you tell us a little bit about what Cora was like in January of 2023, what her interests were?
I'm going to object to this point.
Counsel, can I see it sidebar?
Was interest at that time. So, sir, if you could just tell us a little bit about Cora's interest at that time.
Cora was into princesses. And she had a lot of friends.
We can get AI to do transcripts yet.
And she just liked taking care of people.
And showing you Dawson, correct?
Yes.
What kind of things was Dawson interested in?
He was into firefighters and trucks. And
I don't like the way he gets upset. It makes me think he's about to become violent.
he liked Paw Patrol.
Exhibit 11, Helen. He's only 8 months old, correct?
Correct.
Did he have any disorder?
He was just a happy baby.
Happy baby. And then just showing you quickly Exhibit 12. Does this picture clearly indicate their sizes in relation to each other in January 2023?
Yes.
After Lindsay was released from McLean Hospital, was there a birthday party for Cora on January 7th, 2023?
Yes.
And who had organized that birthday party?
I think we both did.
Okay. And where was it?
It was at Nova in Plymouth.
And was Lindsay present for the party?
Yes.
And do you recall who got all the supplies and everything for the party?
I think Lindsay did.
We could play a video. I'm going to ask you to look at a video and just tell me if you recognize this as a video from the party. Was that from the party?
Yeah.
And was that Cora seated in front of Lindsay while singing happy birthday?
Yeah.
Okay. And there's a second clip. Again, was that Cora and Lindsay?
Yeah.
Hope to have the birthday videos as the next exhibit.
That may be admitted.
13 somewhere. From Cora's birthday party,
gain's way up,
January
ain't it?
23rd, 2023, did you check on and check in with Lindsay?
Every day.
And how did you do that?
I would ask her in the morning how she's feeling, how she slept.
And did she tell you that she was sleeping better?
Maybe a little bit better, but she's still struggling.
And did you ask her during that time if she had suicidal thoughts?
Yeah.
And what was her response?
She told me no.
She told you what?
She said no.
No. Did she ever tell you during that time period that she was having thoughts of harming the children?
No.
Did you as a family go to the Museum of Science on January 8th, 2023?
Yes.
Was the defendant able to participate in activities with the children while at the museum on January 8th?
Yes.
A lot of this is just silly. Like, she went to a museum. Did she participate? Okay. Sounds like she did it.
Some photographs. Just ask you to ID or identify everyone in the photograph so that the jurors can follow their movements through the video footage and video. So if I may, down here in the maroon colored shirt.
It's Dawson.
Dawson, okay. And in the red skirt.
Cora.
And in the gray jacket.
Lindsay.
And here, which is the carriage.
That's me.
And is Callie in the carriage at that time?
Yeah.
And permission to play the video, Your
Can I
Honor.
see again sidebar?
He's giving me the impression that, like, this has been a long, arduous road that is still going on. He's just done. He wants to move on. I mean, like, even by her account, she killed the kids. He's a victim too, even though he didn't do much to try to help her. I mean, it's got to suck going through this, right?
At this time, we move to submit the still photograph and the video pursuant to the discussion at sidebar. I move to submit the full video in as one exhibit for identification and the timeline video as the exhibit.
Timeline. Did we, you submit the copy of that later?
No, there's a full video that was provided by the
Right.
Museum of Science, and then there's a timeline that was created following the family through the museum. And we get snippets from this video.
Okay, that's fine.
So for identification,
Yeah, she killed all three of the kids.
Museum of Science. See, somewhere.
The case is not whether she killed the kids or not. It's that whether she was mentally competent.
And then museum timeline for the next exhibit. Exhibit 14.
a lot of people failed her. It sounds like the doctors failed her. It sounds like I don't know what the fuck was going on with her medicine, why she was only taking small amounts of them. And then especially like mental health medication, sometimes you've got to be on it for a while before you even know. Like you're going to maybe have bad side effects in the first week or two, but you just kind of got to push through that to see if it's even going to fucking work. And some of the pill bottles, there's like fucking 3.5 pills missing. She was bouncing around from doctor to doctor. I don't know. But her husband failed her too. He doesn't seem that fucking interested in getting to the bottom of it.
Sir, after going to the Museum of Science, well, let me go back to that for a moment. At the Museum of Science.
But you can say allegedly, but her defense doesn't even hinge on she didn't kill the kids. Her defense hinges on, yeah, I killed them. She's admitted that, but she's saying she wasn't mentally, she can't stand trial for it because of the time, her mental condition.
Do you recall the defendant being able to interact with the children at exhibits that required manipulating knobs and materials and showing the children how to do those exhibits and interacting with them at those exhibits?
Yeah, Lindsay was always able to interact with our kids, including at the Museum of Science.
Okay. And then after your trip to the Museum of Science,
I feel like, especially it sounds like they had decent resources, they have decent funds, they're not struggling financially. I feel like this has been the point to like get her whatever fucking help she needed. Even if we got to have like a 24-hour person here. Like if I've got to leave and go to work or run to the store, fucking travel for work or whatever, even we have like a fucking person that lives here 24 hours a day, just make sure everything's all right. And if I need to call 911, I will.
And so you remember going to the Charlie Horse restaurant with the kids and Lindsay.
Yeah.
And how soon after the Museum of Science was that? Do you recall?
I don't recall the exact dates.
Okay. And what type of place is the Charlie Horse restaurant?
It's like a family restaurant with games.
And how was the defendant's demeanor at the restaurant?
It was good. I was hopeful.
Why were you hopeful?
Because she seemed much better.
And then on January 14th, 2023, were you able to go to brunch with your friends while the defendant was home with the children?
Yeah.
And about how long were you gone?
About 2 hours.
Were there any issues or problems that you were aware of while you were gone?
No. She encouraged me to go. She said, you've just been inside a lot. You should go out. And it was fine.
And while you were there at brunch, she send you photos of the kids and text messages?
I think so, yeah.
Direct your attention to January 15th, 2023. Did you and Lindsay and the kids go to the Cape Cod or in Hyannis?
Yeah.
And was there a water park there?
Yeah.
And how was Lindsay's demeanor that day?
It seemed pretty good.
Was she able to interact with the children and participate in the activities?
Yes.
I could bring up photos again. I would just like...
That's just not indicative of anything, right? People push through all the time and they participate and fucking then go home and kill themselves. You know what I mean?
You to look at the photos to point out...
The fact that we keep fucking just drilling this, like she participated in all those activities, completely fine. She was able to go to a museum. She looked at everything in the museum, completely fine.
Who the individuals are in the photo. So here in the dark shorts with a white band on the top.
It's me.
And then in the bathing suit here with the ponytail.
It's Cora.
And then in the striped swimsuit at the bottom.
It's Dawson.
And then here in the black bathing suit without shoulder straps.
Lindsay.
Lindsay. And is that was Cora with her?
Yes.
And in this third photo, is that Lindsay with Helen in her arms?
Yeah.
And that photo there is that Dawson with the striped bathing suit?
Yep.
Yeah. We can go to the video with the court's permission.
Come on.
I'm just going to go to certain clips. If we could start with from the beginning to 40 seconds in and play.
Sounded like for a portion of this, he was working from home.
Sir, if you could tell us who, well, can you confirm that that's you and the children and Lindsay arriving now?
Yes.
Would that be Cora in the purple jacket with the pink boots?
Yes.
And Lindsay in the gray coat with the backpack?
Yes.
And then if we could go to 139.
He ran plumb out of his boots.
And during this time, you're waiting to check in and get your wristbands and all that?
Yeah.
I would have already had a full fucking meltdown with the kids running back and forth, people going in and out of the door, other people there. I would already flipped out. So he's calmer than I am. We'd have been standing dress up against the wall.
We could go to 647. Do you recognize this play area?
Yes.
And did you and Lindsay
And she was able to go down this slide completely on her own, completely fine.
children go over to this hardship area?
Yep.
Showing you here, is that Cora that just went down the slide?
Yeah.
Is that Lindsay pretending that she's a pirate blasting off the cannon? Completely fine.
And was that you there by the slide?
Yep.
We can go to 1122. Let's see.
Do you remember Lindsay stating, "Arg, I'm after your booty"? Completely fine. I mean, they realize that all this can be going on and she could still be planning on killing herself, right? Like,
We could go to 1406. Oh. 1625. Start here at 1625. That Cora and then Lindsay that go down the slide together.
Yep.
I knew it. And she went down the slide completely fine. She never said she had a plan to fucking kill herself on the slide.
We can go to 1745.
Were you aware that she traveled with a suitcase with a selection of nooses in every family member's size? Completely fine.
That's the same thing here.
Yep.
So she's able to interact with Cora and the others, participate in the activities.
Yep.
If we could go to 4753, please. Your
If they show her on the cannon, I'm going to lose it.
you and Dawson and Cora entering the pool area.
Yeah.
Lindsay was with Callan at that time, correct?
Yes.
So you were comfortable with her being off in a separate area with Callan while you were with Cora and Dawson that day?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all. Thank you. I move to submit the card photos and timeline. Your attention now to January 16th, 2023. Did you go skiing that day?
Yeah.
And who did you go skiing with?
Cora.
And was it just the two of you?
No, we went with another dad and his son.
Okay. And who was that dad?
Adam Schwabach.
Okay. And was Lindsay home with Callan and Dawson that day when you went skiing with Cora?
Yeah.
Okay. Were there any issues or problems that you're aware of when she was home alone with the kids all day?
No.
And was she able to communicate with you throughout the day?
Yeah.
And how was that communication done?
Text. I might have called her. I'm not sure.
And do you recall texting each other back and forth photos of you with Cora and the boys at home and what they were doing?
Yeah.
There's even people that try to like plan a perfect day before killing themselves or whatever.
And so she was able to take those photographs and send them to you without any apparent problem, correct?
Correct.
I saw the video of the In-N-Out Burger shooter from the, that guy was calm as fuck. Like, considering what's going on, there's a couple times he got kind of antsy and fucking jumped or dropped something or weapon jammed or whatever. He was pretty fucking collected for what he was doing in a drive-through, dude.
Show you the 3 text messages with the attached photos. Thank you. And sir, are these accurate copies of the text messages with the photos that were sent between yourself and the defendant on January 16th, 2023?
Yes.
If I could move to have these marked as the next 3 exhibits. Your Honor.
They may be there.
Exhibit 16, 17, and 18. Okay. And so, sir, showing you the first photo, which was marked on exhibit 16. Did you start off the conversation by sending the photo of you and Cora skiing?
Yep.
And showing you Exhibit 17, did Lindsay respond by taking and sending this photo of Dawson?
Yeah.
And then did she
Oh, that's cool, because I remember cussing you like a dog.
respond again, sending you selfie she took?
Stupid bitch.
And you felt comfortable leaving Callan and Dawson home with her that day?
Yeah.
And why is that?
She seemed to be doing a lot better.
In what ways did she seem to be doing better?
Her mood seemed better. She was more active, and she was able to partake in more things.
She was also going to the gym during that time as well, correct? The Kingsbury Club?
That sounds right. Yeah.
Were you hopeful at that time that things were getting better?
Yeah.
Did Lindsay's parents visit you the weekend of January 21st through the 22nd?
Yeah.
And whose idea was that? Do you recall?
I think it was theirs. I think they were just coming to visit to say hi.
And what did you guys do that weekend?
We just hung out.
Remember when you thought you blacked out in the car ride? That was me punching you the whole way.
Went to a friend's house on Sunday. They left after we got back from there.
And whose friend's house did you go to that Sunday?
The Carneys.
Carneys, okay. And who went to the Carneys?
Lindsay, myself, Dawson, and Cora.
And what did you do there?
There was a fire, and I think we roasted marshmallows or something like that.
Okay. And how was Lindsay's demeanor that day?
She was quieter that day. So, that was the extent of it.
Was she able to interact with Carneys?
Yeah, but she's quiet.
Okay. And you said you returned home and then her parents left?
Yeah.
Do you recall Lindsay and her mom taking a picture together that weekend?
Yeah.
Does she look happy in this picture?
Yeah, that's it.
You have this mark this
Completely fine.
Exhibit 19. And Lindsay seemed to be doing better that weekend, correct?
Overall, yeah.
Were you aware that her mother had sent her a text saying something to the effect of, I'm glad you're doing so much better?
I became aware of that later, yeah.
And just showing Exhibit 19. And I'm sorry, Your Honor, I didn't mark the still photo from the Museum of Science. If you could have that as the next.
Sure.
Exhibit 20. Thank you. That Monday, after her parents had gone home to Connecticut, so
Yeah, drug out. I feel like this would make me like relive all the fucking, well, that's clearly a warning sign. That was a warning sign. Why didn't I say something then? Why didn't I do that then? Why didn't I go through her fucking phone? Why didn't I go through her medication? Why didn't I do this? What could have stopped all this?
Monday the 23rd of January, did Cora and Dawson go to school?
Yeah.
And do you recall Lindsay picking them up that afternoon?
Yeah.
When Lindsay returned home with Cora and Dawson, did she discuss with you that Cora was having some stomach issues at school?
Yeah.
And were you familiar
This is
with
the
stomach
day
issues that Cora had been having?
Yeah.
And did you have an idea of what was causing those stomach issues?
Yeah, it wasn't unusual. She was embarrassed to go to the bathroom at school, so she just held it all day.
And so this was a common occurrence?
Yeah.
And were you aware that Cora had her 5-year physical scheduled for the next day, Tuesday the 24th?
No, I didn't know that was already scheduled.
No, not tonight.
I thought she called it in and set it up, so that's news to me.
Okay. So would it have been Lindsay who would make those kinds of appointments?
Maybe tomorrow.
And all of that?
She usually handled that, yeah.
Okay. And going to Tuesday, January 24th, 2023, were you working that day?
I'm sorry, you said on the 24th?
Yes, Tuesday the 24th.
Yep.
That morning was Cora's doctor's appointment at 8 a.m.?
Yep.
And who took her to the doctor's appointment?
Lindsay.
And
I'll see if I can have it linked for tomorrow, but I'm going to finish watching this. It's already fucking after 1:30 here.
anyone have to go with her, or did she drive herself and Cora there?
It's just Lindsay and Cora.
And you were home with the boys, is that right?
Yeah.
And while you're with the boys and Lindsay's with Cora at the doctor's, are you sending text messages and photos back and forth?
Yeah.
And why did you send a photo of Dawson to Lindsay?
Those are the two photos, the fireman photo and the, I guess the sick daughter in her nightgown kind of looking thing.
That morning?
Because he dressed himself completely for the first
It's
time.
New York Times.
And he was excited about that?
Yeah.
And did she respond back with a photo of Cora?
Yep.
Are these the photos you sent back and forth?
Yeah.
I could have the photo of Dawson as the next exhibit and the photo of Cora as the following.
All right, they may be admitted.
How the reflecting pool came to mirror Trump's Washington. Is that what you're talking about?
Is it 21 and 22 somewhere? Publishing these. Is it 21? And is it 22? And while you were texting with Lindsay back and forth,
Yeah, I'll have it. I'll try to have it up for tomorrow.
were you able to understand her text messages?
Yeah.
Did she seem to understand yours in response?
Yes.
Did she return home?
Yes.
And do you recall around what time she got home that morning?
8:30.
And once she got home, what did you do?
I think I got ready for work.
And while you were downstairs working in your office, do you know what Lindsay and the kids were doing?
They built a snowman and they did some art projects.
And how did you know this was happening?
She texted me a picture.
So Lindsay was continuing to text you and send you photographs throughout that day?
Yeah, and I went up to say hi at one point.
Okay. First, I just want to show you the text messages back and forth. The text being on the right-hand side. If you want to look through there and just see if you recognize the messages going back and forth between you and Lindsay that morning or that day.
This is activity censor.
Excuse me?
I think this is something else.
Let's see. So starting at 7 a.m. on the 24th, and we go to 8:17 a.m. This is the photo you sent to Dawson.
That's a Celebrite report. They're kind of aggravating to read.
And then the replies going to...
It's not just like screenshots, you know what I mean?
8:18 a.m. is this the reply from Lindsay, and then throughout the day, just messages back and forth up to the point page 940, where Lindsay's sending you the photos of the kids in the snow. Is that correct?
Yeah.
We could have the text messages marked as the next exhibit.
Let me be admitted.
623. And just look at one photo. This is one of the photos you sent. We can have a photograph marked as the next exhibit.
He definitely doesn't like to look at the photos. I mean, I can't really blame him, but
624.
given the situation.
How often do you think do you remember going upstairs that day to interact with Lindsay and the kids?
Once or twice. It was a busier day than usual.
And when you did come up to interact with them, how was Lindsay's mood?
She seemed happy.
Happy. And how could you tell that? What was she doing?
She was playing with the kids, and she seemed in a good mood.
At any point during that day when you came up or while she's texting you, did she tell you she was having suicidal thoughts?
No.
Did she tell you she was having thoughts of harming the kids?
No.
Did she ask for help or anything that caused concern?
No, she was having one of her best days.
One of her best days. I want to direct your attention to 4:53 p.m. that day. Did you receive a text from Lindsay about dinner?
Yeah.
And do you recall what it said?
Something along the lines of, if you want to get takeout, I haven't planned anything.
Do you recall it saying, any chance you want to do takeout from 3V? I didn't cook anything. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
Had you been to 3V restaurant previously?
Yeah.
Alone or with the family?
With the family.
And approximately how many times had you been there to eat?
Probably 3 times.
And so you had all gotten in the car and driven from your home to 3V restaurant in Plymouth approximately 3 times?
Yeah, sometimes we were already out somewhere, but yeah.
Okay, but been there 3 times. Had you ever done takeout from there before?
No.
Where would you typically do takeout when you were going to do takeout at home?
The Chestnut Grill. I think another one was West End Grill.
Were those closer than 3V to your home?
Yeah.
So Lindsay suggested 3V and you agreed, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Did she send you another text at 4:56 p.m. asking you to take a look at the menu?
Yeah.
And did you send a text at 5:06 p.m. About Callan?
Yeah, I asked if he had taken a nap.
And did she respond?
Yeah.
And what was her response?
There was a shorter nap and he was awake.
Okay. And at that time, did you also send a separate text asking what she was getting at 3V?
Yeah.
And what was her response?
I don't remember what she ordered.
Do you recall a Mediterranean Power Bowl?
Yeah, that sounds right.
And did she ask you what you were getting?
Yeah.
And at 5:08 p.m. did you respond?
Yeah.
And what did you tell her?
I forget what it was.
Do you recall scallop and pork belly risotto?
Yeah.
That was it?
Yep.
Who called in the order to 3V?
Lindsay.
Once the order was placed, what did you do?
I came upstairs. I took Alan for a minute and I rocked him by my knees, kissed her on the head, and I slept right back.
And what was Dawson doing when you were leaving?
He was eating chicken nuggets on the couch.
And do you recall if he was using a bowl or a plate?
It was a bowl.
And she was able to order her own food without having to kill herself just fine. I feel kind of bad for him, too.
Do you remember what the defendants did? Well, first of all, where was the defendant seated when you left the house, or was she seated?
She was standing.
Where was she?
In the doorway of the living room.
And was that the doorway by the front door or the doorway by the basement door?
It was the doorway by the basement door.
Okay. And did she have Callan or where was Callan?
She had Callan.
Okay. And what was her demeanor?
Normal.
Counsel, can I see both sidebar here?
We recall Patrick Clancy.
Yeah, she took it to the court. The amateur in the matter now pending between the Commonwealth and the Defense of the hopefully not the such trial. Thank you. Nancy.
Good morning, sir. Hi, Ms. Sprague.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning.
So on Monday, I asked you some questions about the surface
Seems like that sidebar was for a recess.
that you and the defendant had in your home and had access to, and about whether you had looked at a site on suicide methods on August 22nd. If I could ask you, did you look at a site for suicide methods on August 23rd, 2022?
I don't believe so.
And I'd also asked you on Monday about when you were leaving the home on the night of January 24th, 2023, your observations of Lindsay and the children, do you recall that?
Yes.
And you had testified that you observed Dawson on the couch eating, I believe you said chicken nuggets and green beans, is that correct?
Yeah.
Do you recall if you're facing the couch?
Chicken nuggets and green bean from a bowl? Sounds like chaos, dude.
He was on the couch?
If I were facing the couch, he'd be to the right.
To the right, okay. And showing you a photograph of the living room where there are some bowls on the couch. Is that a fair and accurate depiction of how the couch looked that night?
Yeah.
We could have this photo marked as
All right, any objections? No, quickly. That may be admitted. Now, as you're getting ready to leave the house to head out to get the takeout,
I think this is the next day.
Lindsay say anything to you?
Nothing specific that I can recall, just other than maybe bye.
Do you recall something about discussing something about CVS with her?
Yeah.
Okay. And what did she say about CVS?
She wanted me to pick up some stool softener for Cora.
And she hadn't mentioned that earlier in the text, correct?
Yeah, I don't think so.
So as you're leaving, she asked you to make a second or another stop while you're out. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And in response to that request, did you ask her to do something?
I don't remember.
I can show you page 77, lines 23 and 24. If you could just read those to yourself.
Yeah, I told her to text it to me, which she did.
Okay, so that fresh memory and
Yep.
asked her to text it to you?
Yep.
And did she do so?
She did.
And was that at approximately 5:15 p.m. that she texted PDLX?
Sounds correct.
So your two stops then that night were going to be CVS and the 3V restaurant, correct?
Yes.
Where did you go first?
CVS.
And do you remember the route that you took to get there?
Yeah, I went out our driveway, took a right on Winter Street, and then took a left on the main road and went to CVS.
So it's a pretty direct route from your house to CVS?
Yeah.
With a map. Just going to have you look at the screen, if you would, to a map. And coming into this red dot here, is that the approximate location of your home at 47 Summer Street?
Yeah.
And then looking at this pink dot here, next to Big Y, is that where the CVS is located?
Yes.
And that's the CVS you went to that night?
Yes.
About how long did it take you to get there?
3 minutes.
And when you got to CVS, did you go inside?
Yes.
Okay. And what section did you go to in CVS?
I think it was pediatrics.
If you could pull up the CVS video. I'm going to ask you to look at the video here. Is that you entering the store?
Yeah.
Okay. And that section you head to on the right, is that the pediatric medication section?
Yeah.
Okay. And while you're in that section, looking for the medication, do you do something?
I called Lindsay.
And why did you call Lindsay?
Because what we were looking for wasn't there. The shelter pretty empty. It was still during COVID.
I'm sorry, what?
It was during COVID, so.
Okay, so, and was that call at about approximately 5:33 p.m.?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, did she answer the call?
Yes.
She answered when you called her?
Actually, I think she didn't at first. She called back.
Okay. And did you receive a call back from her about a minute later at 5:34 p.m.?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. And can you describe that phone call for us?
It was very brief. I just said, I think there's a generic brand, and I said, is this one okay? And she said, yeah, that's fine.
And what was her demeanor during the call?
She was pretty quiet. It sounded like she was busy. I remember hanging up thinking she's probably in the middle of doing baths or something like that.
So it sounded to you like she was in the middle of something?
Yeah.
Were you able to understand her when she spoke to you?
Yeah.
And did she seem to understand what you were saying?
Yes.
And she didn't seem to have any trouble recalling why you were at CVS or what you were looking for?
That's correct.
And did you, in fact, purchase some Pedialax at CVS?
Yes.
Did you purchase anything else while you were there?
Bought a pack of Skills.
Just showing you a receipt from CVS. Does this give you an accurate description of what was purchased?
Yeah.
So you got the CVS receipt. Mark this the next exhibit, please.
All right, that may be admitted.
26. And then we could have the original CVS video marked as an exhibit and the CVS timeline that comes marked as the following exhibit.
27 and 28.
We're going to have to watch the cross-examination tomorrow.
We got the original marked as 27 and the timeline is 28, please. It's 26, 27, 28 mark.
All right, thank you.
After you had made your purchases at CVS, where did you go next?
3D.
And do you remember the route you took to get there?
Yeah, I think I got on Route 3.
I don't have a lot to say. I mean, I guess we're just watching it, but I'm not that vested in this case. It's the first time hearing about it was Mariah bitching about it for the last 2 weeks.
For I think just one exit, and then I got off and went straight to 3B.
And showing you the map again here on the screen. This green dot here on the bottom, is that where 3D restaurant is located?
Yeah.
From there to there. All the way across the TV.
Your Honor, I've moved to submit a copy, a digital copy of the map. We have it on the computer. I can make a hard copy.
All right, that may be admitted.
We can use empty cases of marker. Is it 29?
All right, thank you.
Could you pull up the 3D video, please? Now, sir, how long approximately did it take you to get from CVS to 3V?
Probably around 10 minutes.
And when you got to the 3V restaurant, did you go inside?
Yeah.
I'm just going to ask you to watch the video on screen. About 5:54, 15 p.m. Is that you coming in behind that other couple there?
Yep.
And what are you doing at that point when you're looking at the bags?
I think I was looking for the bag with my name on it.
Wait.
Called Lindsay.
And why did you call Lindsay?
Because what we were looking for wasn't there. The shelves were pretty empty. It was still during COVID.
I'm sorry, what?
It was during COVID, so
Okay, so, and was that call about approximately 5:33 p.m.?
yeah.
Okay.
Still
Something. Is it in the store?
Yeah.
Brown shoes, black bottom, black zip up. I don't think he's wearing different. Who told you he's wearing different clothes? There's no way to tell if this is a full zip or a quarter zip. You got some of that TikTok lawyers going on.
Is that you
Brown shoes, black bottom, black zip up.
couple there?
Yeah.
He bought the exact same jacket, but one of them's a quarter zip, one of them's a full zip.
And what are you doing at that point when you're looking at the bags?
I think I was looking for the bag with my name on it.
Do you recall what you're doing on your phone at that time?
I don't. It could be work related. It could be anything.
And the order that was listed under your name and phone number, correct?
I think Lindsay ordered it.
Right, but do you recall whose name it was under when you picked it up?
I don't recall specifically.
It's just the nature of security camera videos. I don't think you're going to be able to tell how long the zipper is. It's just how far he pulls down the zipper. Does he pull it down a quarter of a way or 3/4 away? And then the shoes are almost look like weird hiking, like leather upper. I don't know how to describe them. Like hiking tennis shoes.
It could be mine.
Show you a receipt here from 3D Restaurant for Mediterranean Tarbal and Salad and Pork Belly Risotto. You just look at the name and the number on the receipt.
Yeah, that's my name and my number.
So that's your phone number?
Yeah.
Okay. So although the defendant called in the order, your name and phone number were given and were given accurately. Is that correct?
Correct.
If we could have the 3V video marked as the next exhibit.
Sure. That may be admitted.
All right, here's the important part, probably.
Yeah. Can I see counsel just very briefly?
I just have a receipt marked.
Is what we're after, chat, when he gets home.
I just have a receipt marked as the next exhibit.
All right. And subject to the court's order, that may be admitted.
Sir, after picking up the order at 3V, where did you go next?
Oh.
And your
I don't think that has any relevance to the order was under your name and your phone number, but she called it in. Yeah.
the route you took home?
Probably the same route, one exit on the highway, and then went home.
Okay. Do you recall approximately how long it took you to get home?
I would guess 10 to 12 minutes.
What was the total time he was gone? Because people on TikTok were saying like he was gone over an hour.
When you arrived home, where did you park?
In the driveway.
What type of car did you drive then?
A Chevy Silverado.
And was that a white pickup truck?
Yeah.
What kind of car did Lindsay drive then?
It was a Kia SUV.
And once you parked there, were both vehicles now in the driveway?
Yeah.
I'm going to show you a series of photographs of the exterior of your home. You could just look through them and tell me if they accurately reflect how your home looked on January 24th, 2023.
3V, like the number 3, and then just the letter of Victor. 3V Restaurant, Plymouth, Massachusetts. She had the gluten-sensitive, fresh menu item called the Mediterranean Power Bowl. He had I'm a horrible person and blamed my wife for the murder of my kids. Pork belly.
Yeah, these are accurate.
You have these photographs of the exterior of the home front back marks. Essentially, it's
They may be admitted.
It's 32 to 37, no, 38, so sir, showing you what's been marked as exhibit 32. Is this the front of your house with the main door?
Yes.
And and then showing you what's been marked as Exhibit 33. Where is this in relation to that main front door?
It's to the right.
And here, where the light is that a secondary entrance at the front of the house?
Yes.
And for the record, that's to the left of the garage.
Yep.
Showing you Exhibit 34. Can you tell us what portion of the house this is?
It's to the left of the front door.
So I'm facing the front door, it's to the left, there's a fence there, is that correct? And Exhibit 35, is that more of that same fence on the left?
Yes.
And then showing you Exhibit,
That's the window she jumped out of, I guess.
looking at your backyard from that left side area where the fence is.
Yeah.
And then Exhibit 37, can you tell us what we're seeing here?
This is the back of the house and the window where Lindsay jumped out.
Oh, okay. So no, it's on the other side of the fence. So there's no way he could have seen anything from the driveway.
And
Because this would be the back of his garage. He'd be parked on the other side of this building. Okay.
Exhibit 38, is that a more direct view of that back of the house?
Yeah.
And so the window you referenced about Lindsay, is it this upper right top window?
Yeah.
And what is behind that window?
Our bedroom.
And the window to the left there in the middle, what room is that window in?
That's the upstairs bathroom.
And then the top window on the far left, what room is that for?
That was Dawson's bedroom.
Dawson's. And then directly below the top right window, so the bottom far right window, what room is that window for?
The living room.
And then again, the middle window on the bottom level.
Downstairs bathroom.
And then that window on the far left there, is that the kitchen?
Yeah.
And on the far left of the photo, where the sliding glass doors are, where does that lead into?
There's like a room off of the kitchen where there's a kitchen table.
I'm more of a connoisseur of beefaroni.
When you got home and you parked your truck, how did you get into the home?
I went in through that side door.
The door that was to the left of the garage?
Yeah.
And what did you do once you got inside the home?
I started taking my boots off.
And did you have some bags with you from CVS and 3V?
Yeah.
Where did you place those?
On the kitchen island.
Show you a couple photos of that area when you came in. Just tell us if it accurately represents how that area looked on January 24th, please.
Yeah, that's accurate.
You have these two photos marked with them, please.
Maybe a minute.
Exhibit 3940. So we're showing what's been marked as Exhibit 39.
Apparently she jumped head first, which just seems so... Like, I can understand, like, her getting out there, sitting on it, and just pushing herself off. Head first seems kind of crazy.
Can you tell us where the sliding glass doors are in this photograph?
They're to the left of the kitchen table.
So we have here the kitchen
Some bags he brought in.
table, kind of in the center of the photograph, is that correct?
Yeah.
And so these are the sliding glass doors?
Yeah.
And where's the door that you came through?
To the right after the kitchen table.
Right here, next to the curtain?
Yeah.
And the door, when you're looking at the photo straight ahead, this door to the left of the mirror or the photo there, where does that lead?
Garage.
And then showing you Exhibit 40. Is that where you place the bags on the island in the kitchen?
Yeah.
Somebody was saying the plates are on top of the bags.
When you came into the house and you were taking off your boots and putting things down, was there anything you noticed?
Yeah, the house was really quiet.
Was that unusual?
Yeah.
And when you realized it was really quiet, what did you do?
No women commentators.
I called out.
If we do that, then we'll have to have Ask Tuco on. It's
Who did you
not
call out
worth
to?
it.
Everyone.
And did anyone answer?
No.
After you called out and no one answered, what did you do next?
I think I don't know the order, but I called down to the basement and no one answered. And then I called Lindsay to see if she was home because I looked out and I couldn't see her car, but it's because it was dark and her car's black.
Okay, so when you say you called down to the basement, when you approached the basement door, do you remember if it was open or shut?
It was shut.
So did you open it and yell down?
Yeah.
And there was no response?
Correct.
And showing you a photo here, is that a fair and accurate depiction of the stairway down to the basement?
The only thing I can say is like, okay, she had she was going right she was swinging for the fences, right? She took this concoction of medication that she crushed up and put fucking acidic juice on, which sounds like it reduced the potency, but whatever. Then she tried to cut herself. Then she pulled the bed out of the way and fucking home run head first, slid out a second-story window. I don't think jumping out of a second-story window, I mean, I guess she was out of her mind at the point, but most people know you won't die from a second-story window, right? Like, that's not... People are like, oh, God, I could die from here.
Yeah.
You've got this mark as an exit, please.
That may be admitted.
Do you recall when you opened the door to yell down whether the light was on or off?
Yeah, it was on, but Lindsay always left the light on.
And you said you called Lindsay. Was that a phone call?
Yeah.
And was that at approximately 6:09 p.m.?
Yeah.
And did she answer?
No.
After calling down the stairs to the basement, did you leave the door open or did you close it?
It seems like you just punish yourself. Like, I've fallen from that high before. Fallen off the roof of a 2-story house. I mean, you can die, obviously, but that's not like okay, I'm taking myself out. This is it. Goodbye, cruel world. Like, you just put yourself in a lot of pain.
I don't remember. I would think I closed it because I always try to keep it closed. I'm not sure.
Okay. And so after you called Lindsay and didn't get a response, what did you do next?
I started checking upstairs.
And where did you check upstairs?
First the bathroom. I thought maybe they were taking baths, but there's no one there.
And then where did you go?
Kids' bedrooms.
Was there anyone in the kids' bedrooms?
No.
And then did you go to your bedroom?
Yeah.
And were you able to get into your bedroom right away?
No, the door was locked, and that's when I knew something was wrong.
And when you realized the door was locked, did you have a way to unlock it?
Yeah, the previous owners, when they installed the doorknobs, had these like these keys that they taped to the back of each door. So I got the one from Corey's room, and I started unlocking the knob.
Okay. And when you unlocked the door to your bedroom, did you go in?
Yeah.
And what did you see when you opened the door and went in?
I just saw blood everywhere, and the window was open.
And
I said, do not let the sun set on your Korean ass in this chat room. That's what I said.
showing you here a photo, is this the bed in your bedroom?
Yeah.
Now, the way the bed is in this photo, kind of pulled away from the wall and slightly askew or at an angle, is that the way it was typically?
No.
And when you left the bedroom that day, for the last time prior to coming home later that night, was the bed in that?
Bed had to be moved. So she took this concoction of drugs, then cut herself with a kitchen knife across her neck and both arms, allegedly. Then she jerked the bed out of the way and went head first out the window.
That position.
I don't think so.
You have a photo next to
That may be admitted.
You said you saw the window, is that correct?
Yeah.
Was it open?
Yeah, there's wind blowing in.
That's that mama bear strength, really like lift cars and shit.
Showing you a photo here. Is that a fair and accurate depiction of how the window looked?
Yeah.
Mark this next to it, please.
That may be admitted.
You almost got to see it, cameraman.
Did you walk into the room and over to the window?
No.
How far into the room did you get?
Probably 1 or 2 steps, and I immediately turned around and went outside.
And the blood that you saw, where was that located in the room?
It was everywhere. It was. It looked like it was sprayed almost with like a hose, and there was a huge puddle in the middle of the room, and it was sprayed all over the pretty much every surface. I remember it was on the doorknob.
Okay. Showing you 3 photos. Do you recognize what's depicted there? And is that fair and accurate
Plymouth, Massachusetts.
depiction of how the room looked on January 24th, 2023?
Yeah.
We could have these photos, 3 photos marked as next exhibits.
They may be admitted.
So they're showing you what's marked.
Physician assistant who treated what she called severe cuts on Lindsay Clancy's wrist in January 2023 took the stand. Clancy's murder trial Wednesday morning, testifying one of the case's issues, the gravity of her injuries. Negri was the first witness called by prosecutors Wednesday morning. Prosecutors have been suggesting that jurors that Clancy essentially faked a suicide attempt after killing her children, while her defense has been playing up the numerous injuries she sustained. On the night, Negri said she was assigned to repair the cuts on Clancy's wrist during the shift at Brigham and Women's Hospital on January 25th, 2023. The day after Clancy's children were killed and she attempted to take her own life, Clancy had cut both her right and left wrists that were severe and deep enough to require sutures, he said. The cuts on her neck were more superficial and did not require medical intervention. The wounds on Clancy's wrists were not actively bleeding and had been dressed and covered before Negri arrived. Negri told jurors that he sutured a 3 centimeter deep cut on Clancy's right wrist and a 2 centimeter deep cut on her left wrist. The remaining cuts were flushed and closed with steri strips. He said the cuts did not go down to the muscle or tissues under Clancy's skin, he said. Did you have anything to do with the massive transfusion she had, he asked. Did you have anything to do with the treatment of the transected spine she had, the shattered spine? Did you have anything whatsoever to do with the insertion of tubes on both sides of her body and were draining the blood from her middle cavity? Negri said he didn't and agreed the defense lawyer Clancy was critically ill when he treated her. Reddington pressed on, asking Negri if he was aware of Clancy coded overnight on January 25th, suggesting that means that the patient has died from cardiac arrest, right? Negri disputed the coding word would have meant not meant the patient had died, but agreed it would mean that their heart had stopped. On a brief redirect, prosecutor Shannon Buckingham suggested Negri, deep in the medical notes is not an adjective. It's more of directionality. She followed up with, as far as your assessment of injuries, deep goes down in the skin as opposed to across the skin. Negri agreed. The trial is in brief recess with Justin Bauer, forensic toxicologist at NMS Labs, Pennsylvania, on the stand currently.
Exhibit 44, is this the entrance to the room looking into the room?
Yeah.
And then exhibit 45 Is this mirror to the right of that bureau we were just looking at?
Yep.
And this area right here, is this the blood you were referring to?
Yeah, that's some of the blood.
And then in Exhibit 46, is that getting closer to the window?
Yeah.
And is that more of the blood that you were talking about?
Yeah.
Going back to Exhibit 42.
Yeah, her core body temperature was like 80-some degrees or some shit, like when they got to the hospital.
There's no blood on the walls or on the bedding, correct?
On those walls in the bedding, correct.
So were you aware that the defendant's phone was found on the bed in the bedroom that night?
Yeah.
They're showing you this phone with this light brown case. Do you recognize this?
Yes.
Whose phone is it?
That was Lindsay's phone.
And is this the phone that she was consistently using between September of 2022 and, well, actually August of 2022 throughout the fall into January of 2023?
Yep.
Do you have this mark as an exhibit, please?
That may be admitted.
47.
We're about finished up with this. We'll do the cross-examination probably tomorrow and do some other stuff around that, different stuff too. I know everybody's not interested in this case, but we're trying.
In the bedroom. What did you do next?
I ran downstairs and went outside.
And do you recall whether you came around, whether you went out the front door or the back door?
I went out the back door.
It seems wild that she was in this condition with the spine and the injuries and the drugs and the thyroid and she was like, I tried to kill myself and I killed the kids there in the basement.
So that would be the sliders, is that right?
Yeah.
And where did you go from there?
I just looked around in the backyard below that window and I saw Lindsay.
And where did you see her?
She was face up in the backyard.
And where in the backyard was she?
At the bottom of the window.
Okay. And so,
I need to start earlier. I need to fix my schedule to where I'm going to work earlier, but we might adjust it tomorrow.
Exhibit 38.
Actually, I might be doing something tomorrow. It might be Sunday.
So this was the window, correct? The top right?
Correct.
Where was she in relation to that window?
Directly below it.
So down here by the window well?
Yep.
For the record, pointing straight below the bottom right window by the window well. I'll show you a photo of that window you were referring to. Is this the exterior view of that window from to your bedroom that night?
Yeah.
We could have this mic as an exhibit, please.
That may be admitted.
Exhibit 48. I'm showing you Exhibit 48. So the window's open, correct?
Yes.
And the screen for the window is up, correct?
Yeah.
At any point in time that
Sperm donations.
night or afterwards, did you notice that the screen was cut or broken in any way?
I didn't notice that, no.
And when you saw Lindsay on the ground there under the window, which direction was her body facing?
Her head was closer to the house. Her feet were away from the house.
And did you go to her?
Yeah.
And did you observe any injuries?
Yes.
What did you see?
She had deep cuts on her wrists, and she had a red line across her neck. I wasn't sure what it was at first, but she cut her neck.
And do you recall that these wounds weren't actively bleeding at the time?
I later learned that I said that on the 911 call.
And when you observed these wounds, is it correct that the 911 operator asked you or instructed you to apply pressure if needed?
I don't recall the whole call, but I believe that's probably true.
Okay. And you didn't at the time feel the need to apply pressure to any of those wounds, correct?
Correct.
Did you say anything to Lindsay when you found her in that state?
Yeah, I said, what happened?
And what was her response?
She said, I tried to kill myself.
Did you ask her anything else?
I said, where are the kids?
And what was her response?
She said, they're in the basement.
And at that time, she didn't tell you that they needed help or they were in danger or they were injured, correct?
Correct.
And so you mentioned talking to someone on 911. At what point did you call 911?
I don't know the exact time, but it took a few minutes because my phone was...
Yeah, we're both interested in sperm donations. Mariah's more of a receiver. I'm more of a shipping, logistics.
Between Wi-Fi and 911. So I almost just started calling out for the neighbors, but eventually went through.
Okay. So you had some difficulty connecting, but eventually you connected to the 911 operator?
Yeah.
Okay. And did you stay on the phone?
I'm dead! Every day I wake up and I hope you're dead!
Somebody said William 17 times. Good job.
With them while they were sending people to respond?
Yeah.
While you're on the phone with 911, are they asking you questions and you're responding with information about her condition?
Yeah.
And if you could just look at the screen here, is this the model of the first floor of your home?
Yes.
Okay. And so we have here the sliding glass doors. Where would the basement door be in this model?
Directly below the stairs.
Oh my God. The guy can't work the model. Turn, down.
Now that it's flipped around, this
Right there.
is the basement right here.
Fuck me.
Before the record, that's the door across from the downstairs bathroom.
Yeah.
And then, how long approximately, and I know you weren't looking at your watch or anything like that, but can you estimate for us how long it took for first responders to arrive?
4 or 5 minutes.
Okay. And during that time, are you continuing to try to talk to Lindsay?
Yeah.
Is she responding?
She's in and out of consciousness.
Okay. Was she breathing on her own?
I believe so.
Okay. And you're communicating information to the 911 operators, and are they giving you, advice on how to deal with the situation as it progresses?
Yeah.
Okay. Once emergency personnel arrive, what do you do?
I immediately got up and ran to the basement.
Okay. And do you still have the phone on you? You're still on the 911 call?
Yeah, I didn't realize at the time, but I did.
Okay. And have you looked at this model here
I don't lose arguments. Mariah just doesn't realize she's wrong yet.
on the screen? Is this a fair and accurate depiction
It'll come to her.
of the setup of your basement?
Yeah.
Okay. If you can just describe the rooms for us, what the purpose of each room was?
So the room in the back left is my office. The room with the black rubber mat is the gym. And then there's a living room to the right of that. And then the back right is just an area of the living room. And then there's a bathroom next to that.
So when you come down those stairs that night, which direction did you go?
Immediately went left.
And when you went left, what did you see?
I saw Cora.
And how did she look?
She had a band around her neck.
And was that an exercise band?
Yeah.
And do you recall whether she was, what position she was in, whether face up or face down?
She's face down.
And when you saw her in that condition, what did you do?
I immediately ran over and tried to take the band off.
Were you able to get the band off?
Yeah.
And do you recall how you got the band off?
I think I untied it.
And when you say untied it, was it in a knot that you had to, put everything down and unknot it, or how was it tied?
I'm not sure I fully remember.
Do you recall describing it previously as when you initially tie your shoes but then don't do the bow?
Yeah, that sounds right.
And was she responsive?
No.
And what did you see or do next?
I saw Callan.
And where was he?
He was next to her.
And how did he appear?
He had a band around his neck.
Sorry?
He had a band around his neck.
And did you remove that as well?
Yeah.
And do you recall what position he was in?
Same as Cora.
And looking at the model here, if you could just tell us, where was Cora?
The left of the couch.
So would that be this area here that I'm pointing to in between the bureau and the couch?
Yeah.
And where was Callan?
To her left.
So would that be more over here towards the chair and the bureau?
Yeah.
After you removed the band from Callan's neck, what did you do next?
I tried to find Dawson.
And where did you go?
I looked in the bathroom and on the other side of the couch. And then I went to the other side of the basement and he was in my office.
And when you saw Dawson, what condition was he in?
I knew he was gone.
And did he also have a band around his neck?
Yeah.
And did you remove that band?
Yeah.
And looking at the office here, where was he located within the office?
Just to the left of the door when we went in.
Just in this area here right inside the door?
Yeah.
So she left 2 of them here and 1 here.
We may approach briefly.
I'd have probably lined them up by size or something.
Now, after finding Dawson and taking off the band, what happened next?
I think I was back and forth. I think I went to try to help Cora.
Did you try to give her CPR?
Yeah.
At some point in time, do the first responders make their way down to the basement?
Yeah.
And do they take over care of the children?
Yeah.
Where do you go?
They sent me upstairs.
Okay. And at this point, Your Honor, I'd move to submit the 911 call as the next exhibit.
That may be allowed pursuant to the earlier order.
It's almost over. We're losing audio for a portion, but it's got less than 3 minutes left, and we're watching it at 2 times speed. So,
Cora Dawson and Callan removed from the home and taken to a hospital.
Yeah.
Was that Beth Israel Deaconess in Plymouth?
Yeah.
Did you also go to that location?
Yeah.
And at the hospital, were you able to see your children?
Yeah.
And was Callan then transported to Children's Hospital?
Yeah.
Did anyone ever tell you not to leave your kids alone with Lindsay?
No.
In January of 2023, did Lindsay ever tell you that she wanted to harm your children?
No.
Did she ever tell you she was going to kill your children?
No.
Did you receive, a few days after this happened, did you receive a phone call from the defendant while she was at Brigham and Women's Hospital?
I think it was like a week or so after, yeah.
And what did the defendant say at that time about what had happened with the children?
She didn't talk about our kids. She talked about what she went through.
And what did she say about what she went through?
She said she heard a man's voice telling her that if she didn't do it now, she would lose her chance or something like that.
And did she also tell you that she had had a moment of psychosis?
I don't recall.
Did she mention the children at all during that call?
I don't think so. Not directly.
Had she ever mentioned psychosis to you before?
No, I didn't know what psychosis was until after this happened.
Did she ever tell you she was hearing a man's voice before?
No.
Can I have a moment, Your Honor?
Sure.
have no further questions for this witness. I just have exhibits.
Counsel, can you just briefly sidebar?
All right, that's it for this side. We'll have to do the cross-examination, and I think there's a brief redirect afterwards on the next show. But there you go. Go out, research. Let me know tomorrow what you guys think about it. We'll cover at the top of the show. We'll cover this, and then we'll move on to something else. This is my first venture into it. I kind of feel bad for him. He obviously missed some warning signs and didn't do enough, and still lost his family. Maybe he'll make a new one. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. Consider supporting the show. We're all learning together tonight. So, see you about the next one. Have a good night. Talk to you later. Thank you for the support. See you guys.
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag happens to see this particular...
Do a cock video tomorrow.
Don't have the
black cock
balls to call out the people on this planet.
There's a bunch of research out there and a bunch of fucking people with their theories, just like the Nolan Wells shit. Like it's all over the place. If you just go to TikTok or YouTube Shorts and type in Lindsay, Lindsay, I think. Lyndsay, whatever. Clancy. Clancy.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the
We'll figure it out.
Stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a 6th sense for the stupid shit.
Oh, you would, being from New Jersey.
Jesus. Praise the Lord and to the extreme. All these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip. Worshipping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like fool in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your huckleberry, I can quench that thirst. Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk.
17.5 million plus another 500,000, so 18 total
Superpowers
for the defamation verdict. I don't know what he's worth or what he's doing, but
it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that's
the rumor going around is like the lawsuit's like 3 times his net worth, so that would make him broke if he has to pay that.
Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you
He was also fucking with his own, you know, he pissed off his distributors and they pulled his music. He wasn't even making money for months there for a while because he was accusing them of stealing his identity and all kinds of crap, working with his haters and trying to kill him, and lost his accountant, he lost his lawyer, he lost his music distributors, he lost everything.
This is gonna be it.
So it didn't really work out for him, I don't think. What? Usually he drums up this stupid kind of bullshit, conspiracy theories, blah, blah, blah. And then with that increase in views, because he's saying wild shit, people go listen to more of his music. But I guess not now. Not when it's not up on any streaming platforms. Yeah, that's kind of like that's like a hot piece. So he's now worth minus $10 million. It's these net worth estimates, especially like on influencers, personalities, YouTubers. A lot of smaller musicians are not super accurate, especially an independent musician. What are they reporting from? You know what I mean?
Things are getting rocking. He was doing so well. It's all over.
I like watching the ones about YouTubers. They're always fucking way the fuck off.
Research, they rework and copy on Cox that came first, 9th inning, 2nd string, and they acting like they know hitters. Assholes throwing bullshit, shit and runs to the shitter. All this nonsense on my conscience, it's hard to sleep at night. Who the fuck is in my window with this time of the night?
I love that his whole defense was like, is this not America? Is this not my First Amendment?
Believing in reason with no meaning.
That's why he tried to say this family with a dad, daughter, and granddaughter was running a GoFundMe scam.
Shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set.
He also can't do math, so his quote was, you can do this fast as fuck. Look at Kylie Rodney GoFundMe. It made $63,000 in 7 days. That's one GoFundMe. If you have 5 GoFundMes, For each individual person that you catfish, fake a death, all you need is 3 people. 3 people, 3 viral stories, and you're a millionaire. It's $189,000, not a million, but he's no Scientologist. See you guys on the next one. Have a good night.